Coming up behind the scenes, the only morning show for men to get their ass out of bed. We're giving you the secrets, and we're doing a live stream on Instagram through the glasses. If you're watching on Instagram, I invite you to come check the show live on YouTube, or you can get the behind the scenes experience right here through my glasses. From my point of view, the only host with the most with the AI dude, Keith Bilous. Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. Welcome to Mornings in the Lab, where
When something negative comes up,
building muscle improves blood flow.
Nobody is expecting Sean.
if the lady's saying that, you're just
It's a super.
Be entertained by fun over here.
How have I slept? Has my sleep been good? Is that
Jimmy, I have no audio. All right, apparently I have audio, but I can't hear the audio. But hey, it's audio. I'm on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends here. Jimmy, I have no audio coming through here. Let's just see here what's going on here. Jimmy, I can't hear any audio, man. No, I got no mute here. Jim, we're going to put it on pause here for a quick second. Amy, I know you can hear me. Johnny, can you talk, brother?
yeah, I can hear. I can hear you.
All right. So here's what we're going to do here. I'm going to just do a little reset. I don't know what the hell's going on here.
You know the best. Can you hear
Johnny,
me, brother?
Keep talking. I'll be back in a quick second.
Well, this is what the live show is all about. If I'm going to keep talking, though, you got to shut up. There we go. Well, everyone, there you have it. This is the live show. This is, I guess, you get to see exactly what's happening. Keith couldn't hear, but he had no audio, so he just basically said, "Hey, I guess everybody can hear me." So we're talking for a minute, brother. So I just told everybody this is what live's all about, baby.
Yeah, I didn't know what happened. I heard the intro and
yeah, I can hear everything, but he can't.
I thought I was good.
It's like he can't hear anything that's going on. I mean, I can totally get that. You know, like when you deal with something that's entertainment based, you obviously if someone up on stage got to hear his own music, or he doesn't know when to start singing.
Yeah, man.
You know?
I don't know. Yeah, usually I get myself together during the intro. Like I'm looking a little cloudy right now, so I wasn't.
Yeah, I kind of do the same thing. I get logged in and then I'm feeling a little better today. I definitely got it. But I did some sleeping yesterday. I took my normal nap, turned into a series of hours, and that sleep will kind of get me caught up. I'm still a little chummy. I can feel in my throat, but my body feels less under attack, if you will.
Yeah.
So I'm going to drop the throttle today, see what happens. Hopefully I don't put myself back into where I was yesterday, but that's the way we do it.
Well, fingers crossed. I haven't really been sick this winter, so I'm
it's crazy.
I'm hoping I could. I usually get sick in the spring though. It's weird, you know.
Yeah, Terry she's had this thing for a stretch, and so I was expecting I was going to get it a while ago, but I think what did it was I got myself too run down over the weekend. You know, I'm really normally just on script, so to speak, with my sleep and my naps, but you get me in a position where those things get a little bit altered. And I think my immune system goes with it.
Same here.
What's up?
Pal?
There you go.
We can hear you now, brother. The question is, can you hear us and can you hear yourself?
Yeah.
I can hear myself and I can hear you guys. So if you guys see behind the scenes, you saw that video. There's a lot going on back here. And this morning it was all ready. And then I hit play and I was like, oh, it didn't fucking work. So anyways, we're here this morning. Mornings Live with Keith and friends. I got my boys covering my back. And I can hear a little bit of enthusiasm in Mr. Anderson's voice this morning. Am I correct that I overhear a little bit that Marty Johnny's feeling a little bit better here this morning?
Yeah. My
John's
nap,
back to
my short nap turned into an extended one. I fell asleep and I just stayed down. I kind of had a feeling that was going to happen, so I made sure that I wasn't missing anything. Knew that if I fell asleep and I could stay asleep, so it just goes to show how powerful sleep is. I woke up feeling my body felt better, and woke up today thinking, shit, I might be back.
How long did you nap?
Let's get it.
Brother?
Oh, fuck. 3 hours.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was basically, it was like sleep. It was not a nap. It turned into, it's healing. You know what I mean? My body needed to heal some stripped down immunity, So
there you go. Well, I'm happy to have you guys here this morning. Apologies for a little bit of a mechanical delay this morning. Good to have everybody here this morning on Mornings Live with Keith and Friends. Hey, listen, I'm streaming through the glasses this morning. So those of you that are tuning in on YouTube or LinkedIn or X, anywhere, I invite you to check out my Instagram feed, Keith Bilous on Instagram. You can see a full behind the scenes view of what I'm seeing from my glasses here right now. So we'll chop it up, put it to some reels later. But boys, we got a big show here coming up today. We got a bunch of topics. Guys, Bonnie Blue is back in the news again, and she's offering marriage advice. So I gotta throw that on the table for you guys this morning. Of course, we got the accountability check-in. Jory Jansen's joining us later today. I want to talk about some behind-the-scenes stuff, how we're putting the show together. Good, Jimmy. Thanks, man. That sounds great on IG. That's awesome, man. And then we have what do we got? We got a bunch of things to talk about today. I got Jory's gonna come and talk about Johnny Marty. Are ultra-processed foods linked to muscle weakness and osteoarthritis risk? The answer is probably yes, but we're gonna get into that today. CEO's guide to do lists. You want to age well. Scientists discover that a major link between sitting and dementia. And then we got a few other things too. Oh, and hey, I got one today, guys, that maybe we'll throw on the table. The blowjob playbook. 5 positions to upgrade your oral sex game with your partner. I figured, hey, we got to throw that on the table here this morning too. And if we got some time, 14 men reveal their deepest insecurities. AI can generate 3D scenes. We got a bunch of things. We got Pia joining us later this morning as well. Before we get into, boys, I could not help but wanting to say that Bonnie Blue is in the news again. This time she's out there handing out cheating survival tips, like some kind of a relationship Navy SEAL. So, boys, here's her statement. Apparently, her events are the best place for men to cheat. And guys,
Jesus Christ.
I know. Why? Too many dudes. That's her answer. There's too many dudes. She's like, if your wife came looking for you, she wouldn't know where to look. And you know why she says it? Because she hasn't looked down there in a long time. It's like, Where's Waldo, the home wrecker edition. And she's not stopping there, boys. She's offering strategy. She's saying, Marty, if you're married, you still got to sleep with your wife so that she doesn't get any suspicions. And don't bring any new moves home, John Anderson. So if you're out there dallying with the side tail, those side moves you have there with the side tail, don't bring them to the house, because the wife might be asking where are you getting those side moves from. So Bonnie Blue is offering advice for married men today, and that if you want to go cheat, Bonnie Blue's the perfect cheater, because nobody's going to find you in that circle of men. And secondly, Marty, her advice is if you're learning new moves with your partner, don't bring it home. What do you think about that?
I think that giving advice, my thing is this: don't take advice from somebody unless they are or have been where you want to be. And I'm not sure that she's been in a marriage that has some sort of structure and trust and loyalty. I don't think that she's been in that part of life yet. So I have a hard time. I would hope that men would realize it's probably not someone, if she's great at giving advice on how to get tagged by 1,000 dudes in an afternoon. So if somebody wants some advice on that, listen. It's like I say, hey, if we're trying to become billionaires, we need to listen to billionaires. If we're trying to find a place to sleep on the street, we go talk to the nearest bum. That guy can help us when we need a place to sleep if we're on the street. But who are you asking advice from is the question you got to ask yourself.
It's unbelievable. It's just it's like, is this the world we live in now? We're looking for people. And then apparently I saw another big news story actually. That's Bonnie Blue and Lily Phillips, the two people that are banging 100 guys out. Big fight behind the scenes, because it's like, Marty, I did it first. No, I did it first. No, I did it first. No, I did it first. Like it's actually a thing where they're all out of sorts because they're wondering who was first.
You know what's happening, brother? We're doing exactly what the fuck they want us to do.
Yeah, I know. Which is I find it hilarious, right? They're getting people talking about it, right? And that's
unbelievable.
Where we live it. Well, and listen, and you know, and Matt Kundle said it yesterday best. And Matt was shaking, brother. I really enjoyed having you on the show yesterday. He's like, whoever sets the narrative in the morning sets the narrative for the day. Right. And you know, Trump is doing it, and Bonnie Blue's getting herself into the headlines. She's catching the news in the morning, and people are talking about it all day. And what it's doing, it's driving guys to her site, driving interaction. And that's the point, boys. We live in a world now where the news cycle happens so fast. Those that control the conversation in the morning control the conversation throughout the rest of the day. Hence, Mornings in a Lab with Keith and Friends. True story. Yeah.
Well, this is the world we live in, and unfortunately, she can do it. She can put out advice like this and not even live it, but there are going to be people who listen to it.
Yes,
and they're going to implement that in their life.
Yes, yeah,
and that's what and just I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago when we were talking about like women with a past, with a crazy past.
Yeah,
and that's what I was talking about. They're doing what they want to do. Like they should either a volunteer or a victim. She's volunteering to live this lifestyle, so I don't feel bad because one of them was crying on a video the other day, right?
Yes.
Yeah. You volunteered for that. I don't want to hear any. I don't know sympathy for you.
Yeah, I hear you. It's but hey, it's I don't know, man. It just tells you. Well, here's what's fascinating to me, Johnny and Marty too, is that there's men now, and I'm no judgment, just gonna offer an observation.
I'm judging.
Apparently it's quite comfortable just to go into a room with 30 other dudes and just be, you know, one of the insertions into like, that's just really bizarre to me. It's like, hey, Johnny, let's go stand in the room there and be around 5 other dudes and just kind of going in and out and just kind of walking, hanging around. It's like the whole act has been completely degraded, Marty. Like it just, there's no, like, what's the point at that point? And then, you know, I read today too, Lily Phillips had a dad and a son. Could you imagine this, Marty? Your dad? Could you imagine you and your dad going to some hotel room or some Airbnb and you're like, what's your dad's name, Marty?
Bill.
Bill. Hey, Bill, I'm going to go first. You hang out, watch the fucking Super Bowl, and you can come in at halftime. Like,
what the hell is up with the dad and the son?
That's like me and Carter. Marty, you met Carter. Hey, Carts. Hey, we're gonna go down to the Airbnb down. You're gonna go and wait. You're gonna go and wait in the bedroom over there for 7 minutes because I'm gonna go do my teeth, and you're gonna go next, and then we're gonna tag team later. I find it absolutely.
It's like Diddy and his son.
Yes,
they dated the same chick.
Oh man,
times have changed, man. Times have changed.
Speaking of
this crazy.
Fellas, most of you are showing up to get some head like it's a surprise pop quiz. Yeah, no strategy, no prep, just vibes. And yeah, I did say that this morning on the morning show.
Hold on. You got to segue, man.
Yeah, I'm segueing from Bonnie.
That wasn't there. There was no transition, Johnny. Can you talk to him, Johnny? Am I wrong?
No,
today's the day where I gotta be careful where I invest my energy. I'm running hard this morning, but the tank, I don't know how full the tank is. So I got to pick my battles today, baby.
And the funny thing is, boys, is I was set off guard because my tech didn't work, so I didn't even set the audience up. The fact that you might have some kids around, we might not be talking about.
Yeah, Keith, you gotta set it up, man. Look, that's what I'm here for, to help you, man.
Let's rewind it. Marty, help me set it up, brother. We're going to segue from the bedroom.
There we go.
Other part of the bedroom, which is, fellas, most of you are showing up for like it's a surprise pop quiz. Yes, Amy, put your headphones in. No strategy, no prep, just vibes. Yeah, and that's what we're going to fix today, boys. 5 game-changing positions and how to talk to your partner without sounding like a caveman. Yeah, we don't want to talk caveman talk, boys. Yeah, true story. Marty, the cinema. I got the cinema for you. The Lazy Boy special. Just picture right now. You're both on the couch. She leans over. Magic happens. It's like watching a great old movie, except you're staring in it. You're starting in the movie, and the popcorn is optional. So here's how you might want to bring it up with your partner today, boys. Babe, remember that scene in the movie where they actually forget the movie. Let's just do it. So there you go. There's the cinema movie, right? There's the cinema spot. The thigh pillow, Johnny, the VIP lab. You're laying down She's got your head on her thigh like it's a premium memory foam pillow. And this is the luxury suite of oral sex positions. And what you want to do and how you want to bring it up, boys, is you looked comfortable in my lap earlier. Now let's elevate that experience and imagine that expression that's going to happen. And then, boys, number three. The tea bag. Marty, sound effect, please.
I don't even know what to do.
Yeah, I was going to say, what the fuck are you going to play for that one, dude? And your sound effect kind of tells your position on what he's going to say next. And he doesn't know what he's going to say, so he doesn't know what to play.
The ultimate power move. Men, you're standing. She's lying back, head off the bed. Now, this one's not for the rookies, Johnny. Nope, no rookies here, man. You need trust. You need some control, and you need a decent squat game, boys. So this is when the deep cheek work comes into effect. And here's how you might want to bring it up, Marty. Listen, honey, I saw this movie in a documentary. Fine, it was TikTok. But let's investigate it. And then number 4, the snake charmer, the throne sit. You're in a chair. She's kneeling. You're in full king mode. Hands-free, maximum enjoyment. And then,
hold on. What was the title of this list? What was the title of this list again?
Yeah, the title of this list is 5 positions to upgrade your head game.
Okay. I just want to like make sure I'm in the right groove when I'm listening to all this shit. Okay, keep going.
Number 4, Johnny, the snake charmer, the throne sit. You're in the chair. She's kneeling. You're in full king mode, hands-free, maximum enjoyment. And how do you want to bring that one up with your honey? I was picturing you between my legs earlier today. I just thought you should know. Yeah, there you go. And then number 5.
Sounds like
I say that.
I was just say, Jesus Christ, that sounds like a bad fucking pickup line. You know?
If I say that, I ain't getting shit.
You'll say,
I'm going to her group chat. They're gonna be like, "Yeah, that guy. See, Marty's a fucking weirdo." Like,
I thought you should know. Marty's like, "Oh, I thought you should know."
Yeah, that's not gonna work over here.
And then number 5, boys, the open usual, the classic but better. You're laying back, feet planted, hips are lifted. The same effort, way better results. Welcome to the upgrade. And how you want to bring that one up, boys? How you want to bring it up? That was already incredible, but I think I just unlocked the cheat codes. Here's the bottom line.
That's what you're supposed to say. That's what the guy's supposed to say. Who the fuck is writing this list, man?
That was already incredible, and I think I just unlocked some cheat codes. The bottom line,
Jesus Christ.
Don't get fed.
Fellas, don't listen to that.
If you want better ed, ask for it, but do it right. You got to be playful. You got to
I'm going to venture to say that
Keith, that list is trash.
You could erase all of these words. You could erase all of these words and do better with just sounds. Like the sound of enjoying something will probably move her to do what you want her to do far more than these fucking goofy phrases. Don't you agree, Mart?
That's definitely a better method.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
I just listen. I'm direct. Like I'm just gonna be direct. That they like that too.
Okay. So my list didn't work this morning, but hey,
that was in it.
Hey, I'm Marty. I'm blaming it on Johnny. Johnny's like, what? Yeah, I'm blaming it on Johnny. Here's why, Johnny, because I watched the video yesterday of you and Justin on the course. And Justin is all, we got to test. And if we don't test, we don't know what works. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, we tested Johnny's avatar.
Yeah, but hold on. But you have to test with something that you know is in the right fucking ballpark.
Yeah,
you know,
that's crazy.
if you're going to test some new method in fucking baseball, you don't show up with a goddamn volleyball. You know what I mean?
Yeah, about that scene in the movie today. That's gonna
Christ.
That's gonna get me blocked.
Oh, that scene in the movie today.
That's gonna get me blocked. For sure.
Oh man! All right, boys, let's go. Let's keep it going here. Let's get to the accountability check-in, Jimmy, and we'll come back with some more fun here. I'm just getting my shit sorted. One of my screens is not working. I'm a little bit frustrated here. All right, let's get after it here this morning. First one didn't work. The Bonnie Blue one didn't really go over well, Melissa. The head one didn't go over very well, Melissa. Hey, we're working on it. We got some of the best comedy writers here behind the scenes. Yeah, true motherfucking story. But listen, here's the thing, guys. We all do it. Yeah, we tell ourselves we have time. We all have time to think, to plan, to wait for the right moment. But here's the thing, guys. The future, it's not coming. Nope, it's here. Go ahead, let's turn the news on. The future moves so fast, you got to act now. because the world is moving faster than ever. And we've all been there, stuck in our heads, overthinking. But here's the hard truth, boys. Waiting, not going to make it easier. Nope. Right now, you have two choices. Two choices. You can adapt and you can grow, or you can overthink and you can resist and you can get left behind. So what do you want to do? All you have to do is look to the past to see the future. All you got to actually do is look to the past to see the future. Businesses that waited, gone. Yep, see ya. Creators who hesitated, irrelevant. People who played it safe in their careers, stuck. Same goes for you. I want to invite you to think about this right now, nation. We live in a world of absolutes. Think about how an absolute can affect you. If you want to be a creator, what are you waiting for? If you want to be a YouTuber, what are you waiting for? Yeah, I know you got obligations and jobs, but hey, YouTube's not going away. Creation's not going away. The media is not going away. You saw the announcements yesterday down in the States, the administration, all media credentials. If you want to be a media person, you can be one. The point is, you got to get started now. Your career, your fitness, your dreams, the gap between those who do and those who wait is growing. Let me ask you this. A year and a half ago, I thought about starting the show. I did. Hundreds and hundreds of shows under my belt. What have I learned more than I knew a year and a half ago? What did I do? I got started. So on which side of the gap do you want to be? Ask yourself. Are you going to be a creator or are you going to be a consumer? There's a lot of consumers out there. Lots of consumers out there. What do consumers have? They have wallets. Are you learning or are you coasting? Are you evolving or are you fading? I got an invitation for you. Live today or be left behind tomorrow. It's true. It's simple. True story. True motherfucking story. It's your call, boys. All right, there you go. Accountability checking this morning, Jimmy. Mornings along with Keith and friends. Continuing to get after it. We're also here on the behind the scenes on the Instagram feed. If you see me on Instagram, you can come see the live show over on YouTube. I invite you to subscribe to the channel, Mornings along with Keith and friends, the only morning show for men. We are the evolution of conversation. It all started years back with GQ and Sports Illustrated and Playboy and Men's Journal and Men's Fitness. And we're taking the conversation from recorded conversations to live conversations right here in the lab. And then what we do is we chop this all up and put it onto the feeds throughout all day so you can engage with our content and our conversations anywhere on the planet throughout the day, and then come back and hang out with us first thing in the morning here on 8 o'clock mornings live with Keith and friends. So all right, boys, let's keep it rock and rolling here, man. I got something I want to throw on the table here, which is guys, scientists. Marty, you and I had this conversation a while back, and I know that I want to throw this up here, but it's important to talk about again, because a lot of our listeners and a lot of people we talk to are often sitting. Jimmy, Tommy, let's bring up our conversation right now about how sitting is killing our folks right now, guys, and how your couch could be sabotaging your brain. Let's talk about something. Let's talk about how something you might not think about often, how much time you spend. Johnny, a study in the Journal of American Medical Association shows a shocking connection between sitting for too long and your risk of dementia. Now, if you're over 60 and you spend more than 10 hours a day sitting, your risk skyrockets by 63%. Huge. So what's counting as sedentary? Sedentary just doesn't mean watching TV. It's any low energy activity done while sitting or reclining, desk work, scrolling your phone, gaming.
Working at home.
Yeah, it's not moving. It's just not moving. It's the total sitting time. That's why, boys, I talk about my morning where I like to get, Marty, you talked about this before. I love to get, I love to get calories in the bank. To me, movement. I like to get movement in the bank. So by the time I start the show, I got 500-600 calories. I got movement in the bank because I know I do a lot of sitting throughout the day. But then as the day goes on, boys, I get up, go for a 10-minute walk, 5-minute walk, 15-minute walk, just to keep moving because I sit so often. But fellas,
those little bits of movement are so helpful, and if you can stack them with different parts of your day, the average person has a break, they have a lunch. If they move for 5 minutes during these breaks and lunch, I believe what is a break, lunch break is the standard.
Yeah,
that's three little bits of movement. That 5 minutes in those breaks would just be a world of difference.
So think about it, boys.
And you're going to get the break. You're not working for 8 hours straight, more than likely. We talked about this the other day.
Work
you're going to get a break.
Is just ridiculous to me, Marty. Get in at 8, 9 o'clock, work for an hour, talk to people at the cubicles, go grab 15 minutes, sit down, go back to the cubicle for another hour. It's lunchtime, go for a break, come back to the cubicle for another hour, go for a break. Oh, time to go home now. Oh, yeah.
Y'all should see the amount of shit I do with my work day. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Like, I got to respond to an email. Okay, I'm gonna respond to the email. Now I'm up. I'm doing something else. Like, I'm gonna exercise.
Is in place. You guys know the Parkinson effect, right? So it's this whole idea where, Johnny, if I said to you, it's Monday today right now, and I'm saying, hey, Johnny, I need this PowerPoint presentation done because we've got a meeting on Friday. You, as a human being, we naturally, here's what you hear, John. Oh, okay, I have 5 days to get it done. And
that's what the average man thinks.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Well, you got to think is, let's get this done so I can handle some other shit.
Yeah, but that's not how it works for most humans. It's mostly like this. It's like, hey, we got a meeting with a big client on Friday. Can you get this deck done? And you're like, oh yeah, okay. And then you take the rest of your week to get it done. And this is where I struggled in the corporate world, frankly, because I'm like, why is it taking you 5 days to get this done? Like, you can get it done with AI tools now. I had Adam House text me yesterday. He's like, hey, Keith, how long did it take you to make this presentation for me? I'm like, Adam, truthfully, less than a minute. He's like, yeah, I get after. I was like, yeah, it does. Like, there's tools now that can do things, even if it's half an hour, Marty, it's not a whole freaking week. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, I agree.
It's unbelievable to me. Absolutely unbelievable how much time we waste as human beings. So the point is, guys, get up off your ass, get moving. And yeah, good time. I see your comments there. Sitting is the new smoking. There's no question about it, right? There's certainly, and I would say our devices have a lot to do with that as well, because our devices invite ourselves to sit and be
and it's a habitual thought process that we're talking about.
Yes.
Most people don't have the, okay, here comes something needs to be done. Boom, get it done. They come in, okay, when's the deadline?
Yes.
They think about it from the reverse effect.
Yeah.
And it's usually when someone does that, they do that everywhere in their lives. It's like, okay, I'm going to wait till my relationship is all fucked up before I start dealing with something, because fucked up is the deadline. Okay, well, I better start working back from the deadline. No. How about just put the effort in up front and just everything in your life? And you can choose to be running from fire to fire in your life, emergency from these people.
Yes.
They've got problems surrounding them because all they do is run from problem to problem because they wait for problems to develop. And the crazy part is, this becomes familiar to them. So without problems, they don't feel okay.
Oh, I'm just digesting that for a second. You're so, I have some
brain runs to familiar. And if you get so used to fucking dealing with fires all the time, you don't know what to do with yourself when you're not putting out a fire.
Dude, when you say that, I'm reflecting on some family that I have. I'm going to be careful with my words, Johnny. But I always talk with my dad about these family members, because every time I talk to them, John, there's always a fire around them. It's like they attract drama. It's like they attract trauma. It's like they attract all this negative energy, and I can't figure it out. But you said it. It's because it's normal for them, right?
It's familiar. The brain will always go to what's familiar because it believes that's safe.
Yes. Yes.
And so for some people, I know people, these are the people I had to eliminate from my life.
Yes.
And keep in mind, they're not eliminated. They're at such a distance that their behavior doesn't affect me. But we all got that person, and it's like you just see they're constantly running because something is getting ready to explode. And the thing is, they could be not a perfect example. I had a renter one time. I had this house when I lived up north. I had a house right next to my house when I rented that. I thought it'd be great. I didn't like that. So I stopped that whole idea. Having a renter that close was no good. So anyway, but he would come and deliver his rent. And he was always just right on the cusp, but you would use every minute of the the couple day grace period. Yeah. And he would come, and one day he hands me the rent, and he goes, I don't have to worry about that for 30 more days. And I was like, that, and I didn't say this to him. I was like, that is your fucking problem with life, pal.
Yes.
You don't fucking worry about something until it explodes. So 30 days comes, he's got 3 days grace. Now he's fucking scrambling to get the rent. And that's how he lived his life.
That's just ridiculous, man.
Yeah. But the thing was, he had no idea, zero clue. And he lived his whole life that way.
What I find fascinating is that your observation of he had no idea himself, eh? Like the guy had no clue. No clue. It just like out to lunch.
And if I'd have brought it up, he'd probably been severely insulted.
He wouldn't even understand what you were bringing up. It would go right over his head. Yeah, he wouldn't understand.
Oh, man. All right, boys. Listen, before we get to the C Marty Fit Tip, I want to do a quick little check-in here. ChatGPT. Tommy, let's get the ChatGPT slide up here. ChatGPT knows you better than you might think, you boys. I'm telling you right now. This tool is more than just a QA machine. It's like having a personal advisor that's ready to unlock your potential. So today, I'm going to do quick 5 simple prompts. Guys, get ready for this one because this is fun. To uncover insights you didn't even know you had. Let's get into it. So John, Marty, find your secret weapon. We all have strengths we're not fully using. ChatGPT can help you uncover what you're great at and how to use it to your advantage.
I didn't realize how much ChatGPT pays attention. Like,
yes,
I asked it a question and it brought up a question I had in a different prompt.
Yes.
I'm like, I didn't even know that. Okay.
Yes.
You're really paying attention. I like this. But go ahead. My bad, Keith. I had to throw that in there.
No, but it's good, buddy. Yeah. Think of it like finding your race card, right? So here's a prompt for you boys. Here's a prompt. Write this down, guys, listening in. What unique strengths am I underutilizing and how can I leverage them better? And see what happens. It's really cool. It's and guys, we're going to publish this on our Substack later this week. So you guys can grab these prompts. But and here's another one: the blueprint to success. You've already got winning habits. You know we're all about habits on this show. You just might not realize it. So ChatGPT can help you, Johnny, pinpoint the strategies and routines that consistently work for you. Here's the prompt: what habits or strategies make me successful? What should I lean into more? And boys, you can listen to me, you can listen to John, you can listen to Marty, you can join the show every single day. But now I'm giving you something in your pocket. You got an aid in your pocket. You're like, yeah, I need some help with some habits. ChatGPT.
But don't you have to be honest with the input for it to give you back stuff that's going to work? Because so many people, oh yeah, I eat healthy. I eat healthy. Well, what the fuck are you doing with the Big Mac wrapper in your fucking car?
Yep. That's
so if you don't have the fucking ball,
just one cheat day.
Exactly. Well, cheat day comes every day. Oh goodness, but it's like if you don't have, and the crazy thing is so few people are honest with themselves.
Yes. Well, it's funny you say, John, because I was watching. I saw a clip yesterday from Lane Norton. We've talked before on the show. Lane's obviously a very highly qualified fitness dude, protein guy, and his post was about essentially humans underestimate the amount of effort we put in when we're working out, and humans underestimate the amount of food that we're actually eating. In other words, Johnny, I'm not losing any weight or I'm not putting any muscle on. Yeah, because you're not being honest with yourself. You're just not being honest with yourself, right? So boys, the next one, your next move, feeling stuck. This tool can guide you toward the next steps to reach your goals. Sometimes you just need a little nudge in the right direction. Here's your prompt. Based on what I've done, Marty, and where I want to go, what should I focus on next? There's a good prompt. And then the mirror effect. Here's a good one, boys, for a mirror effect. Do you want a big picture view of your life? This is a good one. Johnny? ChatGPT can break it down and show you what your life looks like from the outside. It's a great way to get perspective. And here's the question you're going to ask. What does my life look like based on everything you know about me? That is fun. I've done it. It's quite revolutionary. And you're like, oh, okay. And then the last one, boys, tackle your weak spot. No one loves to admit their weakness, but knowing them is the first step to improving. Ask ChatGPT where you tend to fall short and how to get better. Here's the prompt. What areas do I struggle with and how can I improve? Here's the bottom line, guys. ChatGPT is not just a tool. It's a way to learn more about yourself and how to level up. And I'll give you guys one more thing to think about. Johnny, think about this one, pal, because I know you're all about creating content. Same with you, Marty. I'm working on a bunch of behind-the-scenes content now as I expand kind of our content creation across the platforms. I walked into a room yesterday in my bathroom, and I took a picture of the bathroom. And I gave it to ChatGPT, and I said, provide me 20 camera shots from this room that I can use. And it gave me 20 camera shots. And then I said, from those camera shots, give me 20 more scenes that I can use. And it gave me 20 scenes. So
what do you mean? It wrote the scenes out or it gave you a video?
Both. It wrote the scenes that I took a picture of my bathroom and I uploaded with the question and it came back and said, put your camera here, put your camera here, put your camera here, put your camera here, put your camera here. And then it said, here's all the different scenes you can do. So it gave me, so this morning I'm going to go do 20 scenes of me walking into my bathroom as if I got up in the morning, but all from different angles given to me by ChatGPT. Didn't have to think about it myself. You follow me? All because I took a picture. I took a picture of the room and then I asked ChatGPT to say, here's what I want to do. What are the camera angles? What are the shots that I should do? And it told it all to me. So there is some advice, boys, that I can give you guys some helpful advice on.
You see this new thing that came out that's supposed to be better than ChatGPT?
Yeah. Deep Seek. Yeah, the Chinese equivalent.
Deep what?
Deep cheek. Deep cheek, baby.
Johnny's on it. Johnny's on it.
Deep cheek.
That's why I did that. That's
it.
It's actually Deep Seek, not Deep Cheek.
First thing I thought, man, tap into that? They got the spelling wrong. That's what I was thinking.
That's it. Rick Clody is in the comments, boys. I've been saying Rick's name wrong forever. It's like me calling you Curtis forever. Rick Clody, I apologize, man. I got your video yesterday. I'm working really hard. There's just some names I just can't do freaking right. It's like it's like Marty, I'm the worst coordinator with doing yoga. When I watch yoga on TV, I can.
Oh, brother, you can. It's difficult.
Yes, yeah. I'm trying. Oh, thanks, John. Yes, thank you. Yes, yeah.
Speaking Canadian.
I love how you rephrase my thoughts, Anderson. You just bring so much value to me. I'm telling you right now. I look in the fridge, I see eggs. I'm always just thinking you always bring value. So yes, Clody, I'm trying better to say your last name, and in my experience, I got to say it over and over and over and over and over and over and over. So Rick, thanks for joining the show this morning. Good morning, Adam Peters. I see you there in the lab as well. Good to have you here in the comments, Marty. Let's get going, bro. Let's get a fit tip going. Let's keep the show going, guys. We are on Instagram as well. Behind the scenes, you can find me there through the glasses. Marty, let's get after it, brother.
Yep. All right, man. Simple today. It's always simple. Your great workout started the night before. Huh? What you mean? I walked in today, I had a great workout. It started today. No, it started the night before, right? Let's rewind. What'd you do the night before? More than likely, what'd you do? Probably went to bed on time. You probably put the phone down at a great time. You probably had a healthy dinner. And you probably hydrated. Right? And a couple of more things you probably did. But all of those tasks are going to affect your workout the next day. If you get shitty sleep, if you're stressed, if you eat the McDonald's Big Mac with the McDonald's French fries, with the McDonald's chicken nuggets with the sweet and sour sauce, you're probably going to have a shitty workout the next day. You probably had your fruits and vegetables. You got your fiber intake in. All of that is going to lead to a great workout. And you got to repeat the cycle. So why am I bringing this up? Because this is what's required for you to hit your fitness goal. This is what's required of you to live your life at the highest frequency. This is going to help you become a better you mentally, physically, and spiritually. So don't take your night routine for granted. Take your ass to bed at night and do whatever's required for you to get that great workout in. And then you're going to have a great rest of the day. You're going to build that momentum. You're going to carry that to work. You're going to carry that to your family. You're going to carry it to business. You're going to carry it to whatever it is. So get that night routine right. That's the fitness tip for today.
All right, there's the fitness tip of the day with Keith Bilous. See Marty Fit, John Anderson, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. Got a brand new view for you boys. What do you think of this, Marty? Boom, boom.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, checking it out here, walking around the lab. I can see you guys here on the big screen. What do you think there, Johnny? Got a brand new view bringing to the lab this morning. I figured I would just try some new shit out here. I got you guys over here. I got the camera over here. We're going to keep expanding the segments here on the show.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to move some.
It looks like a damn video game.
Yeah, and you're on it.
Oh,
yeah. Like you about to do an auction. I got John Anderson here for $5,000.
Shit, that opening bid better be higher than that. Goddamn
it! I think. Hold on here. I think I just lost something here. All right, so we're gonna go back here. Jimmy, I'm gonna come back to the desk here, brother. We're gonna get back to the desk here. I don't know what happened. Did I lose my audio?
You kind of froze up a little bit.
Yeah. So we're gonna try. You guys, when you guys left the show yesterday, I went and tried it out. And I see you were off screen on vertical. Okay, yeah. So just learning shit, guys. Just trying new things out here in the lab. I really am eager to continue to expand the show and grow the show. And what I'm gonna do, boys, I'm gonna set up a segment of the show over there so that we can add kind of a new view to the whole experience, which is we got good time. Got him a pair of Ray-Bans. My kid is starting to seem like a robot. There you go. Good time. Good idea with that one there, my friend. All right, listen, let's keep it rock and rolling here, guys. We got Jory Jansen joining us in 5 minutes. I got a big conversation about ultra-processed foods linked to muscle weakness and osteoarthritis risk. Listen, we know we got to stop eating ultra-processed foods, but boys, the evidence just keeps piling up. piling. And your new health secretary down in the States there, boys, RFK Jr. there, is all about getting rid of ultra processed foods. I think it's going to be an interesting time coming up here in North America about how we continue tackling ultra processed foods. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, people are pissed, man. People hate them.
Yes. All right, listen. Psychology says if you can master this habit, your marriage, your relationships are going to be set for life. Marty, listen to this one, brother, because I was thinking about you when I wrote this one for today. The underrated power of cuddling. Yeah.
Why do you think about me and cuddling? What made you, hold on, before you continue, what made you think about me?
Well, because I'm thinking that when relationships are new, when we have new girlfriends and the oxytocin's just rolling and all the
okay, all right, okay.
You want to cuddle. You want to spend time with your new partner. You want to. It's like new feelings and new touches.
Bro, let me just interject real quick. Marty, you can tell me if I'm wrong here, but my guess is the relationships that Marty's interested in at this point in his life, there ain't not a lot of cuddling going on.
It's back to the first conversation we had about best ways to get head from your partner. That's where Marty that, ain't Johnny?
Oh, you guys are something else, man.
Am I wrong, Mark? Am I wrong?
I
listen, when I was your age, I was I was playing that same game, you know?
I'll say this without saying too much. When I meet a new chick, I think she's cool. I think she's dope. I'm not thinking too much about cuddling. So,
it's exactly what I just got done saying. He just said
I'm with you. No, I'm agreeing with you. Yeah, I'm agreeing with you 100%, Johnny.
Marty's thinking about this instead. Hey, Marty, you know what I'm thinking about, pal? I think when Carter's done school, we're going to bring Carter onto the show here too. So you don't have to be the puppy all the time, man. We can have myself and Johnny. We can have you in the middle, and we can be teaching Carter some of the things that are coming along the way as well, because he wants to get into the business. I'm like, all right, pal, you can join the show this in the morning, see what happens. That'll
be pretty funny.
You can speak to the 18 and 20-year-olds, but boys, the underrated power of cuddling. Let's talk about something I think we often overlook in relationships. I love to cuddle. My love language is touch and quality time, right? And it might not sound like a big deal, but trust me, it's one of the simplest ways to strengthen your bond with your partner. And why cuddling matters, guys. Cuddling is just about feeling good. It's about connection. It's releasing that oxytocin, the feel-good hormone, which lowers stress, builds trust, helps both you feel emotionally secure. So I think
it's after 6 seconds of touch, then it shit starts dumping into the bloodstream. I believe that's somewhere right around there.
The moment Lauren touched my back, like from sitting on the couch, she touched my back, Johnny, I feel like it's like I'm in heaven. It's like there's this release in my body is like, oh my goodness. And the science of touch, because here's something that's interesting, right? Studies from the Kinsey Institute show that men in long-term relationships value cuddling and tendership even more than women do. Hear me correctly, boys. Men want to cuddle more than women. Regular touch, like hugs or holding hands, leads to greater relationship satisfaction, especially as we get older. And here's how to make it a habit. You know, we're all about habits on this show, boys. You don't need a big plan to start cuddling more. Here's how to ease it into your day. Create a comfortable spot. Maybe find a time on the calendar, right, Johnny? Terry time, right? I find time with Lauren every single day. Ditch distractions. Start small. Ask for a hug. And Johnny, you and Terry dropped some great content this week, which again was my emphasis for this as well. The little gestures, right, John? Walking by, tapping your girl on the butt, giving her a little kiss on the cheek, right? Just these little things that all add up. It all adds up to cuddling. And why it's never too late. If cuddling is not part of your relationship, it's never too late to start. Be open with your partner. Have some courage today. And if it's important to you, go and cuddle with your wife, with your partner. It's going to help change your day. And it is a habit that's worth keeping. And science is showing, gentlemen, we want to cuddle. We want to touch. Don't be scared of it. John, Marty?
Yeah, I mean, I think touch, there's no question that it's a love language. Some people, it's right at the top of their love language as well.
It's absolutely mine. Yeah, it's absolutely mine. And I think part of the problem, boys, is just that the word cuddling is this kind of really kind of soft word. It's like, what the fuck is cuddling, right? The reality is it's touch, right? And we always don't need to get right to the bedroom and get to the aggressive part of the touch, but men, science is saying we want to be touched more often than not. So let's get after it. Let's go and touch our partner, and let's get some love along the way. All right, we're going to bring Jory Jansen here in a quick second, but before we do that, we are going to get to Jimmy Walter. I turned off the glasses because I think my connection died here. So, but we're going to do this. We're going to do a lifestyle check-in with Johnny. We're going to come back with Jory Jansen. We're going to talk about ultra-processed foods linked to muscle weakness and osteoarthritis risk. Johnny, it's good after, pal.
I am so fucked right now. It seems like no matter what I do, it just seems to go the wrong direction. I put some effort into what I'm doing, and it just comes right back at me. It's almost like everything I touch turns to shit. Well, check this out. We all have days like this. We all have thoughts like this. And it can be in just about any part of your life. It doesn't seem to matter. This is life. Well, here's the thing. I remind myself when I get into these positions, I got to outlast the temporary, because these thoughts, these positions of life, these time frames don't last forever. You got to remember, you're here. You when you feel like life is coming to an end, remind yourself you got a 100% survival rate, because you're here and you're having these fucked up thoughts. So just remember, we all have them. Outlast the temporary. Rock and roll.
I love it, Johnny. I love it. I love how you open that one, brother. I love the vulnerability. I love the honesty. There's a lot of guys that are afraid to say the things that you say, John Anderson. I know that you give a lot of men a lot of courage to say the things you say, and I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate it. What's going on, Jory Jansen? How are you this morning?
Good. Just, getting ready. It's a full day, as with all of you.
Yes. So, Jory, I threw something interesting on the table this morning. I dropped it into your messages, and I got the hook here, Jory, which is the silent killer in your thighs. Yeah, boys, that's what I'm saying. All right, fellas, let's talk about something sneaky happening in your body right now. And Jory, myself, John, and Marty are going to talk about with you guys. So ears perk up, guys. Look at your thighs and say to yourself, what? What's he talking about? No, it's not your gut. Nope. This one's hiding in your thighs. And no, I'm not talking about those jeans you refuse to wear out. Those muscles that are turning into fat. Not because you're skipping the gym. Not because you're lazy. Because of the garbage, the shit that you're putting into your body. What's happening to your muscles, boys? A new study from the Radiological Society of North America found that people who eat a ton of ultra-processed foods, Jory, think soda, chips, frozen junk, are packing fat inside their thigh muscles. And those muscles, they're the shock absorbers for your knees when they weaken, etc., etc. What's killing the knees? Ultra-processed foods. They're like the Frankenstein built in the lab. The worst offenders, boys, soda, candy, chips, fast food, microwave meals, all of it cranks up the inflammation, screws with the insulin, and tells your body, hey, let's turn some of this muscle into fat. How to stop it? Cut the crap, eat real food. Jory, let's get into it. We know how to process their food, but the reality is, I don't think the boys listening right now are really understanding how bad that ultra-processed food is for their body. Jory.
Yeah, I think it's the ultra-processed foods and the lifestyle that's associated with it.
Yes.
Combine those together.
They're kind of hand in hand, aren't they?
Yeah. Like, for example, my work, for the most part, is sitting. And so the sitting already, without looking at what else is happening, decreases. And if we think of the big muscle groups that help in terms of strength and power are in the legs. So if you've got use of those legs, right, then that's going to improve so much health when you can use those legs in part of your workout and activity daily living.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So there's that piece. But then when you have ultra processed foods added to that, then what are you replacing? You're replacing foods high in antioxidants, foods high in quality proteins and anything else that's causing inflammation. So we want to take a look at what can we do to start changing up those those foods that are causing degradation in the body. And so what happens is if you have people eating a ton of calories and they are not getting the nutrients that they need, so there's sarcopenia. So those muscles are starting to degrade. And so what happens is then, we replace that with fat, and then we don't have anything supporting our joints and tendons and ligaments. So other than fat, and that's not the same thing.
You know, real quick, I think, Jory, just so you hear people say, oh, muscle turns into fat. It's not like there's some sort of a switch. It's the fact that you're eating in a way you're building fat, and you're so sedentary, you're losing muscle. So it's two different things happening at the same time. It's not this switch, and so when people realize that, they think they have much more control. Like you hear people, he got a little older in life and they say it about themselves. Oh yeah, I used to look like you and I got to be this age and all my muscle just turned into fat.
Yeah.
No, it didn't. You chose a different lifestyle and you started eating differently, dipshit. That's what happened.
That's it. Nasser, I see in the comments there, Nasser's jumping in saying hello, Jory. Jory, Nasser's a regular guest on the show. I know he always likes when you jump in here. So Nasser's saying good morning. Jory, this one, and Johnny, what I'm going to say next really struck me again, Johnny, because your avatar that you work with, the guys you work with, and Marty, even the guys you work with. So boys, the audience, the community listening, listen to what I'm going to say next, because this really struck me. Osteoarthritis isn't just for old guys anymore. And I'm telling you, if you're 40 or 50 and you still think you're young, because you are, the diet you're eating today, if you're still squatting at 70 or limping by 40, it's going to affect you as you keep getting older, right? It's like this whole idea of osteoarthritis is not for the 70 or 80-year-old. You got to start making those changes now, guys, because as you get older, it's only going to get more difficult.
Well, I would agree with that, because when I used to work with the Hip and Knee Institute, we were seeing people coming in for hip and knee replacements in their 40s.
Come on.
Like they were not 70, 80. Well, yes, they were also, but there were, in their 40s coming in for their assessment so they could get their hip or knee surgery dates. Right. So it is happening. And yes, we can look at genetic factors. I think we also have to look at lifestyle factors.
Yeah, there's always the outliers. There's always the people that just are going to have some bad luck with some joints based on genetics and blah, blah, blah. But then you look at, like, I love what you said, Jory. You start backtracking and look at the path of life is going to lead to most of these problems.
I think what struck me most is, and Jory, you leaned into it, is that, I know more people in my life, I'm sure you boys do too as well, and Jory, you said that are going for hip replacements or knee replacements. I never equated it as much as I probably should have to foods. And we look at the big bellies that many of our men carry, and all that adds up to hurting your knees, hurting your hips, and next thing you're going for knee replacements. Hey, Jordan, it's those accumulative little choices along the way. You start in your 20s, you wake up in your 50s, you got a belly and your knees are sore, and you're like, oh, I see. That's what's happening to me, right? And I'm bringing it up, guys, because we have the chance right now, Jory, to make changes right now, don't we, Jory?
Yeah, it's not too late until it's too late, right? So absolutely start making those decisions, and then making the action. I think it's really important that we can think about it. We can start planning, which is great, but we actually have to be consistent with those changes, because we've been consistent with a poor lifestyle, poor outcome. But when we can start being consistent with better choices, we then are likely to have the better outcomes. So yeah, it starts today, right? Not tomorrow.
It absolutely does.
I want to add in, just think about it, compound interest. Don't just pay attention to compound interest on your finances. It's with your body too. So those bad habits stack up. We talk about habit stacking, but you're doing the wrong habit stacking. So
yeah.
You can do that too.
You can destroy yourself with bad habits so much easier than you can actually preserve or build yourself up. So you got to be really careful with what habits are you stacking. Great point, Marty.
So boys, one of the things we like to offer is just constant things to think about, advice, create awareness. The easiest thing we can do, Jory, is when you're going to the store, picking up a box. Well, try not to pick up a box. Try to stay on the outside of the store, pick up the fresh stuff. But if you are picking up a box and you look at the ingredients and you can't pronounce or spell the word, it's probably not good for you. I'm thinking, Jory.
Usually that is the case. You're right. Usually that is the case, right? I agree. And if you're unsure, if it's overwhelming, there are grocery stores in North America where they have people that can take you through and do a grocery store tour and teach you in the moment. So there are resources accessible for you. So I mean, I do them with clients all the time. Certain grocery stores actually have hired on dietitians to do these things. So there's education around that. I'd like to say that, in terms of some practical tips, things that can get you going in terms of nutrition, there's also let's not forget the exercise, but in terms of nutrition, I'll let the rest of you jump in on the exercise part, but in terms of nutrition, we want to prevent muscle wasting. So we want to look at what builds muscle and what also helps with muscle working properly. So let's not forget the nutrients like vitamin D, omega-3s, calcium. These nutrients help in terms of muscle functioning. And how do I make that practical? Well, you can get calcium in things like milk. You can get it in your dark greens if you're eating those dark greens. If you're not a fan of dairy for whatever your reasons are, that's totally cool. Your omega-3, so fish, flaxseed, hemp hearts, nuts and seeds, get those sort of foods in to decrease inflammation. Antioxidants, we've talked about it before, but your produce that's like deep blues, reds, purples in your fruits, high in antioxidants. Your red, your dark greens, your orange yellows in terms of your vegetables, high in antioxidants. Go around the perimeter of the store first. Some of the grocery stores caught that, and they have put some of the extra processed foods on the ends. But look for these whole foods first. We don't have to pay attention to the little nutrients per se overall because they're in whole foods, but start with little things. And so the food part is important. The exercise part is also, I think they're equal in importance.
Yes. I mean, here's the thing. Longevity is determined, if you break it down, strength is going to determine a person's longevity. If he becomes too weak to live, his longevity is going to break down really quickly. Let's look at, you see these can't think of off the top of my head, but I know we've all heard or seen of these old farmers. They're in their late 80s and they're still fucking moving around wheelbarrows and driving tractors and doing shit that an average 80-year-old would never think about, because they're eating in a way that obviously they're probably eating healthy foods right off their own plantation, but then they're living life in a way that keeps them active and they're building and preserving. And so you think about it from that perspective, muscle's an organ. We think about, the organs that we're trying to take care of. Well, what are we doing about our muscles? We need more of it as we get older. And if we don't think about it now, it's really difficult to build it in our 80s. Much easier to build it younger and preserve it as we get older.
Yeah. Hey, boys, can you guys hear me? Jory, Johnny, Marty? Yeah?
Yep.
Awesome. Hey, so Jory, I'm really curious to hear both of you guys, or all three of you guys' opinion on what's happening. But before we do that, I do want to say this. Johnny makes great content walking around the grocery store on his Instagram feed, offering you guys stuff to think about. Right. So you talk about Jory's hey, go through the grocery store, ask for help. John makes great content. You think, what's he doing? He walks the store, he picks up something, and tells you all about it. So I'd invite you guys to check out some of the content on John's Instagram feed.
And I keep it very simple.
Yeah, less than 30 seconds, 20 seconds, just drops it out there. Right? Just something to think about. But here's what I'm curious about. Jory, looking at you first. There's obviously some changes happening right now in the U.S. administration with how they're treating food, Drug Administration, RFK Jr. All three of us on this show have grown up in an era where it was government. Now there seems to be a shift happening, which is questioning all the decisions, all the things that we were fed for the last 100 years, and being somewhat exaggerative. And I'm not looking to hold you guys to the fire for this. I'm most just being curious about what are your thoughts around the narrative that's coming into the world, Jory, especially around food and some of the stuff that RFK Jr. is talking about, and the corporate influence around food, and some of the stuff that John talks about. George, do you think we're starting to see a shift here in North America? Is Canada going to follow along? Or I would love to hear your personal views on this. And again, not holding anything on the fire, just kind of like to hear, because
you can put me on the fire
right now, George.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of, I guess the best word that I can use to describe it right now is a bit of an awakening.
Yes.
They're
People are
waking
finally
up.
waking up.
Yeah, they're
Yes,
smelling the
Jory.
coffee. They're waking up, and they're starting to not just rely on what people are just the government is saying, like, this is what we do. It is an industry, and people are making a profit. And I believe that people are finally, waking up and taking a stand and saying, you know what, if this is what's going to be presented to us, if this is what we're expected to buy, then our expectations are now high. And let's make a change. It's going to take a while. But that's where it's going to be really important for people to figure out, in the meantime, do I have Netflix or do I buy the foods that I need? Right? Yeah. It is expensive. It is. Yes. And when you have like party of 5, I have party of 3. So it is different, but it's still expensive. You have to make some decisions in terms of what's going to work for you until the what we're asking for or demanding for now, we're demanding now, which is great, actually comes into place to be more common than it is right now.
So
it's a little bit better in many ways.
So Jory and John and Marty, then what you guys saying then is that you're happy that it's about time we're having a discussion? So, for example, like fluoride, our kids like, no, fluoride this, and let's just leave vaccines aside. Let's just stay on food and ultra processed food and some of the things that he's talking about. I'm just curious from your points of view. I think what I'm hearing from you guys is that it's about time we're now at least having a discussion about it. Am I hearing you correctly?
Yeah. I'm let me loose, man. What you say, Johnny? Cut me loose.
Cut me loose. I got something to say. Let's go, Marty.
Yeah, we got it.
I'm so sorry, you guys.
Jory's got
I'm going to listen to. I have to take off. I have a meeting with my executive director. But I want you guys to continue this, and then I'm going to listen back. But if there's more conversation to have,
let's keep it going on Friday, Jory. I want to keep this one going.
Yeah,
you go.
Absolutely.
All right.
But keep going, and thank you guys.
Thanks,
Have a great day, Jory. Have a great day.
Keep after, brother. Marty, I want to hear what you have to say, brother. Keep going.
All right. I'm a big results guy. All right. Let's look at the results we've gotten over the past 20, 30 years, right? We're at all-time skyrocket high obese levels, right? And I even feel like it's affecting the brains of people in North America to where we got a lot of delusional people out here. So there needs to be a change. And if you want a specific example, let's look at what's going on right now with the 500-pound girl that ordered a lift, and the lift denied her because they didn't want to mess the car up, and now she's suing, and she might win the case. She has a chance at winning, and it's people defending her. So there absolutely needs to be a change here. I don't want to take over because I can go on a tangent on that, but there absolutely needs to be a change.
I love it, Marty. I'm going to take a slightly different position on this. I mean, there's so many different positions, so it's not opposing to you, brother. Just saying, here's another way to come at this. Mm-hmm. So, real whole foods are becoming so expensive, and ultra processed foods are so affordable. So our middle class has been getting eliminated little by little. It's not going to be long before you're going to have the rich eating good, nutritious foods, which is going to help them be better. And you're going to have the poor eating all this food that fucks them up and keeps them living in fucking zombie land. And that's going to be, the food is going to be part of the major separation. It's what we put in ourselves is what determines how we perform, how we think, how we act. And when you're putting all this fucked up shit in your body, you're not going to operate at a level where you're going to really improve enough to change your life. And I mean, it's amazing. Like when I take someone that comes to me and I remove processed foods, I put real whole foods in. These people, if they're commission based, they're doubling their income. They're getting promotions. It's like their business world or their work life improves so vastly just because they can see clearly and they've got the energy to excel. So I think the food is part of the plan to completely destroy the middle class.
What I'm enjoying about this, boys,
wow,
is that we're talking about it. Right, because it just seems like
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said wrong. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say completely destroy the middle class. I think it's designed to create that massive separation between the people who can and the people who can't afford it. Because if you can't afford it, and it's very difficult to excel when you're fucking taking a piss in your own gas tank.
Well, and it's funny because all you guys got to do is look at some of the content on your feeds, and Americans can't get over the egg prices in Canada. You guys are like, how come they're so cheap and how come they're so expensive in the States? Yeah. Right. And it's yet you can go down and buy a box of crap and have it much cheaper. We get some comments coming in from Rick Clody. Hey, Rick, what's shaking, brother? I'm still trying to say your name right, man. Body chemistry and mental states are affected by what we eat. See, Marty is so fit. Is so right. And Lauren's jumping in with dementia rates are at an all-time high. She's absolutely right. She works in the industry. And Rick is the number one determinant of health in our world today is affluence, not government health care. Focus on treating symptoms. I'm just happy that we're finally having these discussions and we're not just accepting because somebody said so. Right, Johnny? Because John, looking at you, but that's how you and I were raised. For the last 50 years of our governments, Canada and the U.S., it's been, well, no, this is what I'm telling you, Johnny, this is what you do. And that's just how our generations were raised, John, frankly, right?
Well, and I want to say for the people that say I can't afford it, I want to say, yes, I get it. You can't afford it right now. But if you invest in yourself, meaning better fuel, better whole foods, better quality foods, couple that with just a little, maybe you're even already getting the exercise. All you got to do is change the way you eat, that you're going to find a way to make more and you will be able to afford it. But you're never going to be able to afford it if you keep going deeper into eating less quality foods, because what we eat is one of the biggest determinations of how we perform.
Well, I got to add this too. If you say you can't afford it, right, it's time to do an audit. And I've had to do this with myself. I had to keep it real with myself. What are you spending money on? 9.9 times out of 10, you're spending your money on something that's unnecessary.
Yep.
And it's probably taking up the amount that you need to invest in yourself and get that healthy food or get the trainer or whatever it is that you need to get. So I would look at that as well.
Yep.
And if I can add on what Marty said before we get into our Reloaded and before we walk Marty out of the door here, Marty, you dropped some good content yesterday on IG that I loved. You're like, you know what? When you adopt a lifestyle of fitness and nutrition, it becomes addictive. You just got to take the first step and the second step, and it becomes really addictive. And that's an addiction that I think, and I know we don't like addictions, but just the idea of embracing and walking towards that every single day, a lot of value in that, right? And, we always talk on this show about accumulative decisions that add up negatively. Man, the way we start our day with the food in our body just continues to add up, eh, Marty?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then I got to Lauren coming in, and she's so right. Listen to this one, right? People can spend on alcohol and drinking all day.
There we go.
Complain about egg prices.
I mean, what does a fucking pack of cigarettes cost? These things are fucking expensive, I've heard.
Yeah, but they can't afford it.
But you think about the people that can't afford good food, many of them are fucking smoking and they're buying Kraft mac and cheese.
Yeah, there you go. Hey,
I've seen people with the EBT and they buying cigarettes.
What's the EBT?
The food stamps.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I've seen it.
Now, granted, I'm going to take a different stance. Sometimes
I think that's crazy, man.
Yeah, and so do I. And unfortunately, we often don't know what put people into those situations, right? And to me, it's when somebody's in that situation, how is we as other human beings can help them get out of that situation? Because I got to suspect, guys, people don't want to be there, but they just don't know how to get out of it. Right. And that to me is maybe some of the power, what we're trying to do on the show, that if you're in that spot, some of the things that we're offering up, Johnny offers up, Marty's offers up, is that maybe get you out of those situations where you're stuck. Right. Because sometimes people don't know how to get there. Right. They don't know how to get out of that situation. Right. So, all right. Morning Loop Reloaded. Mornings in Live with Keith and friends. The only morning show to help you guys get your ass out of bed here. Marty's getting off to the gym here in a quick second. I thank you guys for your patience today. I had a few little technical errors, but we got it all sorted out.
Absolutely.
Jory was in for, we talked osteoarthritis and staying away from ultra-processed foods. Marty, what do you got on the agenda today, brother?
Man, we got a busy day today. I actually got a meeting right after this, and then I'm going to head to the gym. I'm get there a little late today. And got my show tonight and working on some stuff in behind the scenes in C. Martyville, man. So
Beautiful. I love to see that.
Yeah.
All right, pal. Well, you be safe. You enjoy your day today, and we'll catch up later. Okay, pal?
For sure. Yep. I'll holler at y'all.
All right, brother. Cheers.
Yep.
All right, Marty's going to be out of here. Keith and John are going to keep it going. I guess John's got to get out of here in a second too, hey, pal?
I got till 15. So we got what?
Yeah.
We got 5 minutes, baby. Let's just think of damage we can do in 5 minutes.
Yeah, well, I got something for you, pal, because this is something for you and I to chew on right now. But I got something. Want to age well, boys? Do these 9 strength exercises regularly to keep your body fit and strong after the age of 50. Tommy, so if you want to bring that one up here, let's bring that one up on the screen here. That'll be a good conversation for Keith and John, because we're both over our 50s, and we certainly enjoy getting into the gym and lifting. So I got a few things I want to throw up here, but how to stay strong after 50, the ultimate workout guide for men, guys, muscle loss or sarcopenia. Johnny, sarcopenia, simplified it from your point of view. What is sarcopenia?
I'm sorry, what is it?
Sarcopenia.
Help me.
Yeah, it's when I guess it's when your muscles and your body start to break down and not be as strong as it used to, and you start to degrade, right?
Oh,
so
okay.
Yeah,
I got you. Well, I'm going to jump right into the fact that this is it's a lifestyle thing. Of course, there's always outliers. There's always the situations where someone has some condition. But generally speaking, if you look at the way that, and I'm speaking primarily of Americans, you see how Americans are aging. It's because those Americans have, for the most part, the same lifestyle. Then you look at the outliers, the people that are still kicking ass, they live a different lifestyle, which gives them a different outcome. It's the way we eat and the way that we move every day. That's the biggest determination of basically what we're discussing here.
That's it. So, boys, I got 9 exercises that you guys can do, and there's no reason you can't do them. John and Keith, Marty talk about it all the time. But if you're stuck, we talked this morning about sitting. If you're sitting too long, you're getting old and you're dying. So get up, get moving. Step number 1. But then you're like, hey, we should do some things. Do some squats, boys. When you take a shit, you're going for a squat.
Yes.
So
yes.
So it's the king of lower body exercises. It keeps your legs strong for everyday movements. There's no reason you can't squat. Johnny, glute bridges, doing some bridges to help stabilize your lower back, right? Standing shoulder press. Guys, just lift something up, get it over top your shoulder. Right? And we're not talking about crushing 200, 300, 400 pounds, guys.
No. I mean, it's just, the standpoint of just pushing something over your head is going to help with the flexibility. You see old people, they can't get their hands over their head because they're not putting their hands over their head with anything. The joints and the muscles have kind of froze up because they're not using that range of motion. So these things are not about only muscle building. It's about keeping your range of motion. But I would say if you're hitting on the head, squat is sitting down on the toilet. The deadlift is picking something up off the floor, and the overhead press is, for anything you got to put your hand over your head for, getting something off the top shelf in the cupboard.
Johnny, picking up your grandchild and saying, Mufasa, right? It's like showing your grandchild off to your friends, right? Like, come on, man. Like, if you can't do that, you're not getting that joy of holding your granddaughter over your head, right? So that's a standing shoulder press, boys. The standing shoulder press is holding your grandson or grandchild. So if you want to do that in the future, maybe you want to do standing shoulder press. Body weight rows. Guys, all you need is a strap. And pull yourself up and pull yourself down, pull yourself up, pull yourself down. That, of course, is also going to help you. We're giving you functional movements. You don't need to go spend gazillions of dollars going to the gym, boys. These things you can all do at home. Johnny, the power of planks, keeping that core strong, right? Just getting on your arms and holding yourself straight for 30 seconds. Johnny,
even standing up, going to getting down to lay on your stomach, on your belly, arms out, standing back up. Just do that 10 times.
Oh yeah. Johnny, how many guys that you've worked with can't do a plank? And I'm not trying to be negative, but I gotta suspect it's like the push-up, right? A lot of guys can't do a plank. I'm thinking, am I correct?
Well, what I do is I have them start off with their knees down.
Yes,
because it takes a lot of times people, their backs are bothering them.
Yes,
and they think, well, I can't do that because my back's bothering. Well, your back bothers because it's weak, so we got to start strengthening that. So I'll basically have them, they've got shoulder issues, the back issues. So it can be from a push-up. It can be like the knee down, they could refer to it as a girl push-up. You can do a plank in a girl push-up position, and that's the way to start. If your shoulders are bothering you from being in a normal, I call it a girl plank position. Right.
No, I got to correct you, man, because I'm thinking that your girl and my girl, they don't do girl push-ups.
No, my girl. This is what people resonate with when you try to explain. When they say do a plank with your knees down, they're like, "What do you mean? Do a plank like a girl?"
My girl does fucking push-ups, and I'm suspecting your girl does push-ups as well. So Just do push-ups, boys. Lauren could crush fucking push-ups, man. Lunges, boys. So push-ups, do some lunges, guys. Again, I'm talking functional movements. If we always talk about getting moving, good time, go and do some movement, going for a 5-minute walk. We'll take a minute, do some lunges along the way. And man, lunges are a wonderfully accumulative exercise that adds up in such a positive way. Build your glutes, build your deep cheeks, helps with your core stability. There's actually nothing bad about doing a lunge, John Anderson. Nothing bad at all, actually.
Well, a lot of times people will say it's a difficult movement it's a one-legged movement. So start off with the squat, start off with the deadlift, get yourself feeling like you've actually got some momentum with your exercise. Don't just go to the most difficult body weight exercise out of the gate. A lot of times people say, oh, that hurts my knees. Well, that's because you're doing it wrong.
Yes. All right, last two we're going to wrap up before John's got to rock and roll here, boys, is get under the bench press. If you can find yourself doing a bench or even on the floor, right, doing a flat press off the floor. Again,
the push-up.
Exactly, the push-up, right? So if you can do a bench, that's great. And then some band anti-rotations. Guys, I could not encourage you enough to go buy yourself some resistance bands and do band work. You know, resistance helps, and it doesn't cost you a lot of money to have some bands around, some elastic bands. You can do great for core strength, great for preventing injuries, but band anti-rotations are a big tool.
You summarize all this, brother. Just commit 10 minutes a day, and you'll be blown away with the type of progress you make. Don't have to do much, just got to do it often.
And Amy Reiner doesn't do girl push-ups either, Johnny. She's coming in with the comments.
That doesn't surprise me. She's an ass kicker too. You know,
she's a beast, absolutely. But before we walk Johnny out, we're going to wrap it up with this, boys. Squats, glute bridges, standing shoulder press, body weight rows, planks, push-ups, lunges, bench press, band, anti-rotations. There's 9 techniques to help you guys through your day. I know you can find 30 minutes, boys, to take care of yourself first today. We've given you everything. Johnny, we give all this free advice every single day. All that we can do is walk you boys to the water, but we can't make you drink. Right, Johnny?
And if 30 minutes sounds like too much of an undertaking, start off with 5.
That's it. Start off with 5. Start off with 5 today. Next thing you know, we're doing 10 tomorrow. Next thing you know, we're doing 15. Next thing you know, boys, you're at 30. Hey, I had 45 minutes scheduled to do this morning. I was tired. You know what I did, pal? I did 20 minutes. I'm like, oh, yeah, I got 20 minutes done. I did 20 more minutes. Right. And I did 10 more minutes. I did.
Dude. You sometimes just coax yourself into starting with 1 minute. I do it all the time. Okay, I'm gonna do this for a minute, see how I feel.
Yes.
Not 30 seconds. Then okay, let's do it a little more. Oh, a little more. Next thing you know, you've fucking done more than you planned.
Well, because your brain says, well, if you're already here, you might as well keep going. And then my brain goes, okay, Keith, you're going to be sitting for a good chunk of the day. I'm sure you can move your legs for 5 more minutes. I'm like, well, fuck, of course I can. So I do.
Your body says, give me some more of that good fucking brain chemistry.
Exactly correct. All right, Mr. Anderson, I knew you got to rock and roll, brother. Lots of love for you. Have a great day. I appreciate you having my back when I kick off the show this morning.
Absolutely, brother.
I know you always got it. You take care of yourself. And Jory. Well, and I'm glad you're feeling I can tell you're feeling a little better today. I suspect by tomorrow, by Friday, you're going to be right back at it.
I got to make sure that I have an ass kicking day, but I don't push it a little too far. So I gotta really listen. The body's going to be sending me some subtle signals of how hard I can push. So I'm coming out of the gate like a banshee, but mid-morning I'm going to start listening. I'm
going to hold you accountable. I might send you a note later this afternoon that might say, you better be fucking napping right now, Anderson, or I'm going to get on a
the nap is in 10 o'clock. I'm going to take a nap. It's already written into the schedule.
Good. Oh, it's in the schedule. Brilliant. Johnny's got a meeting with them. Boys, there's a nugget. Write it down in your schedule. Why do we write the meeting for our doctor or our lawyer, but we don't write it for ourselves? John wrote it for himself. He's got himself a nap. Johnny, have a great brother. We'll talk to you tomorrow, okay?
All right, brother. Have a great loop.
You betcha. All right, John Anderson's going to get out of here, guys. We're going to keep the show rolling. Jimmy, I saw your comments regarding Pia. We do have Pia joining us here in a few moments. We have her scheduled for 9:30 Eastern time here, which is in 10 minutes from now. So what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to keep the show going. And Jimmy, I'm going to throw some more topics on the table here. Guys, so we so far today have gone through, scientists discover major link between sitting and dementia. I don't know about you guys. I'm hearing more about dementia and Parkinson's and these mind diseases that are having more and more effects on our society. We can stop these things by making different decisions along the way, right? So again, if you get up with us in the morning, I invite you to take some of the things that we say and help you get out throughout the day. We also talked about ultra processed foods with Jory. You know, we talk about it all the time on this show, ultra processed foods. They're killing us. They're killing us. They're killing us. You know, can continue to focus on making those good decisions. You know, those ultra processed foods are creating that visceral fat, creating the belly fat, creating the bad knees, creating the bad hips. And we don't even know it. Next thing you know, we're going for, knee replacements, hip replacements. And scientists are suggesting that those ultra processed foods are linked to muscle weakness and osteoarthritis risk. We kicked the show off with some intimate discussion around the blowjob playbook. Yes, I said that, boys. If you listen to the show, the first 15 minutes, Mornings in Lab with Keith and Friends, we like to keep things unpredictable and keep them fun. And Bonnie Blue was offering dating advice, guys, in the first hour. You don't know who Bonnie Blue is? Bonnie Blue is the young lady who slept with 1,100 men in a weekend. Yeah, true story. That's what society is getting to when we're all sitting down and trying to find ourselves 1,100 humans to have sex with and then go brag about it. Hey, she's making 600 grand a month. 600 grand a month by sleeping with 1,100 guys. No, we're not, we're not propositioning that for you guys to do that, but that's just some of the money out there that people are making from those situations. We talked about what ChatGPT knows about you. We gave 5 prompts that will give you instant answers about yourself. So if you're sitting back going, how can I use ChatGPT for my benefit? Well, we offered some advice this morning on the show on how you can use ChatGPT to add value to your day. And then we got into psychology says that if you can master this habit, your marriage will last for life. And what's that habit, you wonder? What's that habit, you wonder, boys? That habit is cuddling. Yeah, it's cuddling. Men like to cuddle more often than females do. And I think it's often lost upon us, guys, where we always think it's the females that want to cuddle, touch. It's actually men. So honeys, women, men want to be touched. Men want to cuddle. My wife knows that, guys. My lovely bride knows that Uncle Keith's love language is quality time and touch. And I got to tell you, that touch on my back makes me melt. So boys, if it's important to you, don't be afraid to ask your partner for it. Right, Rick? I see your comments there. And you're right. Cuddling is a vanishing act. I think, Rick, it's because it's just a word that we all just kind of, I don't know. It's like cuddle. What the hell's a cuddle? I've seen a cuttlefish. Yeah, cuttlefish, yeah. But anyways, I think it's a word that it makes people kind of go queasy. But the reality is we like to be touched. Men want to be touched more than I think we let it on. So ladies, go touch your man. Men, go cuddle with your wife. There you go. And we gave you some advice on how you can maybe get some oral sex from your wife or your partner as you're cuddling. And that was some advice. We kicked the show off today. Didn't we, Jimmy? All right. So listen, let's go to this one. I got a CEO's guide to to-do lists. How to organize and prioritize your tasks. Tommy, Jimmy, let's bring that one up here. Let's bring that one up here on the screen here. I'm going to go back and find it here in my notes. But guys, I know that you go through your day and you're like, oh, what do I do now? What do I do next? What do I got to do now? What's next? And it's just this never ending list of things to do. Well, I got a CEO's guide on how to structure and create your to-do list. And let's talk about something that affects all of us. It's time management. You hear us all the time. I don't got 5 minutes to do this. I don't got 10 minutes. No, you do. You're just not good at managing your time. And if your to-do list feels never ending, I know you're not alone. Mine never ends. I got to tell myself, okay, it's going to be here tomorrow, so I better go to bed. Because here's the truth. Being busy isn't the same as being productive. Right, Rick? Haven't we heard that before? Being busy isn't the same as being productive. If you want to take control of your time, you need a smarter system. Yeah, true story. You got to stop confusing a full calendar with progress. Listen, guys, filling up your day with meetings and tasks doesn't mean that you're actually getting things done. Do you think you are? Do you feel good because the calendar looks all booked and overwhelmed? You're like, oh yeah, I got a bunch of things going on. Ask yourself at the end of the week, what have you actually accomplished? Because if all you've done is filled your calendar, you haven't accomplished anything, you haven't done anything. You've just confused a full calendar with progress. Stop. Yeah, true story. Stop. Something else for you guys. Focus on the highest and best use of your time. Listen, you're not going to get everything done today. I know you're not. I never do. I think that I do. I'm going to go, yeah, I'm going to get all these things done today. Nope, not going to happen. So do this. I invite you to think about this. What's one thing you can get done today? More importantly, what's one thing that if I don't do it, it won't get done? That's where your time should go. Ask yourself that question today. What's the most important thing? Get it done. Get everything else off the list. Guys, I invite you to do this as well. Measure your time like an investment. Think of your time like your money. Where's it getting the best return? You know, are you worth $100 an hour? If you're worth $100 an hour, why are you cleaning your office when you can pay somebody $25 an hour? Ask yourself that question. Prioritize tasks based on impact. Does it grow revenue? Does it strengthen your brand? Does it increase efficiency? If not, Mr. CEO, if not, Mr. Entrepreneur, I'd invite you to rethink it. Why are you doing it? So, how do you take back control? You heard Marty today. Audit your list. Rank your tasks by impact. Rank them by urgency and cut the noise. Clody, just cut the noise. Delegate or drop what doesn't move you forward. Do it. Just drop it. Get rid of it. Time block it. Set strict windows for deep work and follow through, and then measure those results. Don't measure the activity. I'm a big fan of results-only work. You heard me correctly. Not hours-only work, results. I don't really care how long it takes you to get a result. Just get the result. Now, obviously, we have time frames and frameworks in place that if I'm saying, hey, it's going to take us an hour to dig a ditch and it takes you 10 hours to dig a ditch, we're clearly not doing something correctly. But really, guys, the result is all that ultimately matters. Here's the bottom line, boys. If you're drowning in tasks with no clear priorities, you're not leading. Yeah, think about that. You're just staying afloat. So step back, rethink your approach, and take control of your time. Yeah, just take control of your time. The men who master their time master their success. You heard me correctly. The men who master their time master their success. Boys, we all have 24 hours in a day. We all got 24. Those that can squeeze 24 and a half, 25 and a half out of 24, maybe win. Or perhaps those that effectively manage 24 can always win. But I would invite you to consider this, boys. I'd invite you to consider this. Take your calendar, take your day, work backwards. Write it down and say, okay, I got to go sleep for 6 hours today. Don't even sleep for 8. Take 6. And then say to yourself, okay, I'm going to go spend an hour or 2 with my wife or my partner today. Maybe it's an hour. Just put an hour down. There's 7 hours out of your day. Okay, I'm going to go spend an hour or 90 minutes on myself today, just myself. Okay, so now I'm sitting at about 8 hours today where non-negotiables. My sleep, my relationship, myself. Maybe you have a child or some children. Maybe you're going to add an hour to that today too. Now you're sitting at 9 or 10 hours today. All right. All you've done so far is you've slept and you've taken care of your relationships, including yourself, your partner, and your kids. You got a lot of time to get stuff done, guys. A lot of time to get things done, to get results and not waste time. All right, Jimmy. I see you, MC Lyrical. Where's Frank Ocean? Well, Frank's off to the gym, MC. I see you. Marty's here every single day from 8 until 9 o'clock Eastern time. And then Marty heads off to the gym and he's here every single day. But that's where he is, MC Lyrical. He'll be back here tomorrow morning, first thing in the morning, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Mornings Live with Keith and Friends. The only morning show to help you guys get your ass in bed and achieve those big, audacious goals. Our content is around accountability, getting up, getting going, and making good decisions, good habit stacking so that you can move forward and hit those big, big, big audacious goals. All right, Jimmy, is it time, Jimmy, to bring in our guest? I'm looking for your comments here. I'm looking for Jimmy's messages in front of me here. So guys, I got a brand new setup here, right? So I got Jimmy, I got you guys in front of me over here. I got you guys in front of me over there. I got you guys in front of me over there. And then I got Jimmy right here in front of me on my little message screen here. So Jim, is it time to bring Pia up? I think it is, eh? Yeah, and Rick's going, I've heard there are, yes, Rick, there are professional cuddlers. I've heard that as well. You can call somebody up and they can come over and cuddle you. But what happens if the cuddling moves to something else? Do you think it moves to something else? It's like, well, can I move the cuddling professional cuddler to the other equation that we talked about to start the show? We know that one, which is the head playbook we talked about. Yeah, does it go from cuddling to that? No, Rick, we're not talking Bonnie Blue or Lily Phillips. We're keeping it sane here this morning on the show. All right, yes, let's do it, Jimmy. Let's bring in our guests. Let's bring in Pia Lister this morning. Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. What is going on, Pia? Let me bring this in for you here. There you are. Yeah.
What's up, Keith? So nice to be here.
How are you today? Where are you joining me from today?
I'm good. I'm actually live from Copenhagen. I'm a New Yorker, Montrealer who's based in Copenhagen now.
Oh, you're in Denmark, the next part of the United States.
Yeah. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. Where are you?
I'm in Canada. The other part.
I thought so.
Exactly. Next United States. So
exactly.
You're hanging out with Keith and Pia, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends, the only show that's part of the United States, even though we're not in the United States. I'm here in Canada and Pia's in Denmark, and our countries are under economic war by our friends in the States, and they're going to take us over one day, and we're all going to be better off because of it. Or maybe not. Oh, how are you, Pia? What's going on today? So listen, nation, we celebrated Pia. Help me with your last name. I've been struggling with last names. I've been messing up Rick Clody's last name left and right. And I'm like, fuck me.
It's Lister, but it's originally German, so we've bastardized it. So I'm not precious about my last name, but
okay,
it's Lister.
Lister. So we got Pia Lister on the show. We did a creator spotlight with you last week. We surprised you. And then as a result, we're like, hey, Pia, you got to come on the show and you got to shine a light on somebody in your orbit. But I got to go back, man. I got to go back. When you got that announcement that we celebrated you, where were you? How did it happen? Were you on LinkedIn? That all of a sudden some notification pop up and then you're like, what the fuck is this?
Well, Jeff gave me a heads up.
Oh, Jeff gave you a heads up, did he?
Well, it was a sweet heads up. It was around the pronunciation of my name. So he was like, how do you pronounce your name? I'm like, oh, what's going on here? And then I saw it on LinkedIn and my heart melted. It was beautiful. I love this concept.
Awesome.
It's so good.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, so now I got the next most important question. Pia, I got to pause. I got to set this up. You're not going to be asked a question like this for the rest of your life, the rest of your day. I'm telling you right now. What time is it where you are right now?
It's 3:31.
Jimmy, I got to take a deep breath this question. I got to set it up. Pia.
Keith.
Pia Lister.
Keith Bilous.
What is your morning routine?
My morning routine.
Oh, there you go. What's your morning routine?
My morning routine is Are you being serious?
I'm being 1,000% serious. What is your morning routine, my friend?
My morning routine is to actually wake up and meditate. This is the first thing I do.
Yes.
And I'll tell you why. I used to be a very A-type. Alarm clock rings, boom. I'm like a bat out of a cave right away, starting my day. And it gets me into this busy mode.
Yeah.
Meditation as a practice just slows me down. There's nothing more important than being right here, right now, quiet with myself. There's no reason I can't have 20 minutes just to sit. And it actually starts to reprogram how I move through my day, just to change how I start my day. So that's been really, really good for someone raised in New York like me, who's usually pretty amped up to just smoothly connect to myself. Then usually I'll do some free writing. Another way, I like to call it like meeting yourself. You're actually just talking about this. The importance of meeting yourself every day. You know, just to take a minute, take a beat. How you doing? How you feeling? What's going on? And journaling is another way of doing that. Meditation, journaling, a hot frothy cup of matcha tea, and off I go.
How did you come to that, Pia? And what I mean by that question is I got to suspect it just didn't happen. Like, or did it? Did the light go on one morning where you're like, holy fuck, I got to slow my life down. I need to discover something. Maybe it's meditation. Maybe it's the gym. These answers fascinate me because I know a lot of humans that I've met on this show that are learning how to start their day, are learning how to figure out their day. And I find that it's a moment that happened that snaps and says, okay, I gotta figure shit out. I got no time in my day. What was that moment for you when you're like, nope, that's it. My non-negotiable is now meditation?
Well, entrepreneurship, because once you start to build your own business, there's no one else to blame, or you can blame the boss, but the boss is you. You know, there's no one else. You can't point fingers. Oh, I have to get up and go to work. Oh, I have a pitch. I have a meeting. I have something. All of a sudden, your day is your design. You get to design your day.
Yes.
And so if something's not working, if I'm feeling like, why am I rushing to make a cup of fucking coffee? Like, what's going on? This doesn't feel good to me. This is like this constant rush. Then I get a chance to re-engineer that. I get a chance to think about, all right, well, how would I like to move throughout my day? Softly, What is that Navy SEALs line that I love so much? Slow is smooth and smooth is fast.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really the thing,
There was still something that went off in your head though. Like something still prompted you to create awareness around it.
Well, I've been creating that for a while. So I've been meditating for at least, I don't know, 7 years. And that practice of being drawn, I have friends who are starting to do Vipassana, which is a 10-day silent retreat, which I actually did around 7 years ago. It's great. It's hardcore. It's also really challenging. It's not all, rainbows and butterflies, but
so, hold on. Sure. You wanted a 10-day quiet retreat?
Yeah, silent retreat.
It's
like you live like a monk for 10 days. It's actually by donation. It's called Vipassana, which means self-insight in Pali. And you go and you donate at the end of it, and you basically are given vegetarian food. You're given everything you need to just meditate. You sign a contract, you give your phone. Yes. You go in, and what you do is you just meditate all day. And that was life shifting. That created a big.
So I need to absorb this for a second. So I get the whole giving your phone away thing, but just and we got Amy Reinhardt coming in with I hear the New Yorker. She's like, I could be friends with Pia. I think you could be, Amy. You guys should connect on LinkedIn.
Definitely.
Let me be clear on this. So you go to this retreat, you hand your phone in, and you're mute for 10 days. You don't talk.
That's right. You're mute. No one can get in touch with you. You can't get in touch with anybody else. The only thing you need to do is be deeply present. You are given tools, if you will, like ways of connecting to your breath and meditating. And there is a process that you're sort of guided through. So they they help create scaffolding, because for some people have been meditating, some people have not been meditating, and it's a whole new thing.
I like that you called it scaffolding. Some people are giving it's guidelines, right? It's like
exactly.
Yeah.
You need that.
So I gotta be honest with you. That sounds scary as hell to me.
Yeah, it is.
I've jumped into a cage with great white sharks. I've been in the ocean with white sharks, and
wow.
And so a lot of people would be scared by that experience.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Scary.
No. Going to a silent retreat scares the fuck out of me. Like, so I can't. So like, can you even talk to the people around you, or are you silent?
No, you cannot talk to anyone. You cannot even really look at people, because we talk with our eyes. Like they say, do not disturb other people's experience. People come here for many different reasons. So trying to even connect with your eyes or do something can be very distracting. So you really have to honor and respect the people around you. So it's sometimes odd to also eat with a group of people and be quiet. When you eat breakfast, no one is talking.
So it's actually this for 10 days.
It's this for 10 days. And, there's a lot of the former founder of Twitter, also Jack Dempsey, I think it was.
Yeah, Jack Dorsey.
And there are a lot of people that have sort of, found this to be incredibly rewarding and important and enriching and deeply challenging because of the way we live our lives.
Well, so I'm not going to lie to you. I'm intrigued by it. My wife and I have talked about yoga retreats or silent retreats, and we've always, we go for a couple of days to a yoga retreat. But this idea of being a monk or being silent or mute for 10 days, I feel this anxiety being created in my body. So I got to ask you, Pia, on that 10th day, were your senses overwhelmed when you came out of the retreat?
Definitely. Oh my God, because then you can talk to everyone. Suddenly everyone's off mute, right? And it felt so overwhelming because you're with, I don't know, let's say they're men and women are separated. You can meditate together, but you have your own kind of quarters.
Yes.
And when everyone comes back together, it's just the cacophony. It's overwhelming. It's just whoa, to the senses. And really it's silent, but your body and your mind and your emotions, they speak to you. So it's not so silent. It's just silent with the outside world, but you get deeply connected to what's happening within your body, what's happening in your mind. And for me, what was incredibly healing was sometimes it gets painful. There have been times you have to do, sit in strong determination, which is you sit for an hour without moving. The last 15 minutes, my body was on fire and my mind started going, oh my God, are you ever going to be able to walk again? You're going to mess up your knee. And what is this? The cult of pain. And my mind created all this noise. And I realized in that moment, and I kept practicing, the difference between suffering and pain. I felt physical pain, that's undeniable, but I was creating suffering from all the stories my mind was telling myself about the pain. And that was such a big insight for me that I took with me after the retreat, and I still take with me every day. It's like there's a difference between what we experience and then the stories we tell ourselves about what we're experiencing. And that can create a lot of suffering. The good news is we get to tell different stories. If we become aware of what story we're telling ourselves that's causing suffering, we get to flip it. We're creative beings. We're humans. So it was really, and again, it was like they right in the middle of it. I think it's day 6. Most people want to leave, and actually, the person who bought, his name is Goenka, who's no longer in the world, but they have videos of him. At the end of the day, his videos are shared, right?
Yeah.
And so he has a great sense of humor, which I love, but he also shares what you can expect. And he's like, today, you're probably going to want to leave. But, you can just ride it out, see it through. This is part of it, So, yeah.
What was the one thing that you learned about yourself or you took away from that? This is fascinating to me. So thank you for going here with me.
Yeah, of course.
One thing that you learned about yourself or that you really took from that experience that you still hang on to today? Yeah.
I can sit with my pain and I'll be okay.
Oh.
I don't have to run from it. I can sit with it because you see, it's interesting what we experience through the body.
Yeah.
Can become a gateway for like almost metaphoric for many other ways, different types of pain, psychic pain, emotional pain. But I physically could sit with my pain, and that taught me that I can sit with all pain. I'll be all right. I don't need to keep running from it, which is part of busyness, by the way. We get really, really busy sometimes, so we don't have to sit with how we're feeling or what's really going on, because it could be really uncomfortable or we could be scared, right? So learning that, hey, I can be with this. I'll survive. It might be uncomfortable. I'm not saying it feels, necessarily good, but that's cool. Like I can still be with it. And so that was one of the biggest takeaways. I took that with me.
It sounds similar to when it sounds like maybe in some ways I equate it to when I do an endurance ride or I do a marathon, not a marathon, but run for a long period of time. Cause I hate running, but I tell myself that if I'm sitting down for a 90-minute cycling ride or 120-minute cycling ride, like it's a pain in the ass. It's a long time.
Yeah.
But I use that for mental endurance, because I tell myself that if I can last through the 120 minutes of this pain, I can last through anything. And it's
exactly.
I'm kind of hearing the same thing.
Exactly. And I think it's fascinating about how the body can show us that.
Yes.
Like the body can teach us that. It's much easier than going through all of the psychological reasoning for how we can be resilient and endure. Just cut through the chase, be with your body. Yeah. And I think movement helps a lot. Like sometimes endurance, as you just said, when I'm doing something that's burning and it's like, yeah, it's going to burn. That's what it feels like. It feels like burning, but I can be with it. I can sit through, I could be with it and it will pass. Right. That's beautiful because it always passes as you're running. Right. I'm sure you have like that peak of like,
oh my God, I hate it. But what I do is I break it down into minutes. So if I'm running, if I'm doing a 30 or 60 minute run, I'm like, okay, so and it's like the magic of an interval. Like so 30 minutes broken down into 10 3-minute segments.
Yes.
If you can't run minutes, it's like
that's a beautiful approach for life. One step, one move.
And I'm equating it to the same way when you're sitting in that room by yourself. When you're like, hey, Pia, it's 60 minutes of not moving your body. And you said to me, what was the last 50 minutes was the most difficult part.
Yeah.
But at that point, you're probably saying to yourself, okay, just 3 more minutes, 5 times.
Yeah, exactly.
I know I can sit for 3 minutes and then I reset another 3 minutes. Then I reset another 3 minutes. I find that interval thinking is so helpful to achieving big goals.
Absolutely. And I'll add something to that.
Yeah.
Getting curious.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
Curious. It invites you to get curious. Yeah. Okay. Pain. What does it feel like? Oh, it feels like a pulling, feels like a burning, and then all of a sudden the tolerance for the pain changes because you're observing it. You're starting to witness it instead of identifying what does it feel like? And that helped a lot. It's like, okay, let's dive into this thigh pain, this knee pain. What does it feel like? And then before you know it, the time would be up.
Yeah. All right.
And it got easier. by the way.
I bet it did.
It got easier, but it's training. Like, as you know, it just takes practice. And we can't, well, people can do what they want, but if you give up before you really get to that sweet spot of practice where you kind of are not domineer it, but are able to overcome it, then you don't get all the awesome benefits that come from it. You know what I mean?
You know what I love about this is that this whole last 12 minutes started with one curious question. What was your morning routine?
There you go.
And that's why I love the power of curiosity.
Me too.
Because because you didn't even go there about the retreat. You said that you meditated. And then I was like, oh, so what does that mean? And then we went into it and you're like, well, yeah, Keith ended up at this posh now, this retreat. So that to me is the power of curiosity, because
totally,
it's when you can connect with a human and you get curious, magic happens. Right. And
100%.
the last 12 minutes, I think, are a good example of that, because I learned a lot, and I'm thinking my audience learned a lot just by this whole idea of you can do this, the power of, 3 minutes times 10 is 30 minutes. Like, it's just the power of curiosity and asking questions, right?
Totally. And curiosity also negates or cancels out judgment. It's so beautiful. The minute we start getting judgmental about things, flip the switch, get curious instead.
Yes.
Then it just cancels it out.
Yes.
And who wants to be judgmental, right? I don't think anyone does, but we tend to be. So I love that. And also,
oh no, we always do. Listen, we human beings judge a book by its cover. I love it. I'm like, yeah, judge the book, because, and then I'm like, and then listen to me speak, because I know many people see me and they have a judgment. Yeah. And the judgment's generally probably not often a kind one. It's like, oh, that guy's probably a douchebag, or he's kind of goofy or whatever. He's like, who is this guy all about? And then it's like, oh, you said something kind of thoughtful. So I love the whole idea of judging a book by its cover.
Well, I like the idea of getting curious about someone instead, and getting curious about yourself. Where does that judgment come from?
Yes.
Why is that here? What's going on?
Yes.
I mean, that's also the invitation in meditation and journaling and all these morning practices, is also getting curious about yourself.
Yes.
How do I feel? Where am I? What's going on for me right now?
You've actually given me something to reconsider, which is, perhaps we don't want to invite people to judge a book by its cover. Perhaps we want to invite people to be curious about a book, about its cover.
Totally.
Right? Too often we make the judgment. What we're really saying is that, no, maybe reframe the judgment with curiosity, because when you can reframe with curiosity, that's when magic really happens. How many of us pick up the book, we have a judgment, and then we flip it open, and then 30 minutes later, we're 30 pages in, and we're like, oh, I guess I'm buying this book now because I judged it all incorrectly, right?
100%, if you end up picking up the book, because sometimes judgment stops us from picking up the book, and then we really miss out. Yeah. So the reframe, I think, is the invitation. If you reframe it like, oh, this book doesn't look like it's for me. Oh, get curious. Why do I think it's not for me? Well, I'm not really into the color green. Okay, cool. Let me just read a little bit more. Let's get curious about that. Yes. And then all of a sudden you've picked up the book. So I think it's really powerful. I think it's actually the reframe ahead of time will open you up to more experiences in life. And isn't that what it's all about? Absolutely.
And this is where I've enjoyed the journey of aging. And
amen.
I mean it as a positive stance, right? Because none of us like to age, but I've reframed it where I'm enjoying the curiosity that comes along with it, right? And
yes.
And in a world of AI, I believe my curiosity and my experience is worth more than anything right now.
100%.
Who wants to work with me is getting a lot of value, because my curiosity is off the charts. 100%. My experience is even further off the charts.
And your humanity is too.
Yes, exactly.
And I'll also say that getting older, the beauty of getting older, can I curse on the show? Is that
cool? Fuck yeah.
All right, good. Is that you give less fucks. There are less fucks in your bank to give.
Yes.
And for me, that's freedom. Not in a rude, like, I don't care about,
no.
But more like, fuck it. Yes. Why not do the thing?
Yes.
Why not show up here? Why not say what I really feel and think and experiencing? It's just, there's so that to me, I'm loving that part of aging. Like, if that comes with it, I'm like, yeah.
I'm going to tell you this. I've learned what you've just said through this show. That's because people knock on my door and send messages and are curious, like, so how do you do this, Keith? I'm like, well, how do I do what? Like, how do you get behind the camera? And how are you so confident? Like, how do you pull this off? And there's this, and I'm like, I don't know. I just what I do. But my point there is that when you can find that confidence to not give a fuck, magic happens.
Yes.
Because then you're truly yourself. And that's when people gravitate to you because they want to say to themselves, how do I get some of that confidence that Pia has? Where did she get that confidence from? Like, I want to drink more of the confidence from Pia. And then I suspect what happens to you is people gravitate to you because they're like, why? And it's happening on this show. People are like, oh, I got a sense of what Marty, Keith, and John are drinking. I want more of that. I want more of that. I want more of that. There's power in curiosity and power in confidence, Pia.
Definitely. And vulnerability.
100%.
Because vulnerability connects us. When you have the confidence to be vulnerable.
Yes.
To say, this is who I am. I'm just going to show up as I am.
Yes.
Warts and all, beauty marks and bruises and all of it to the table. That creates connection.
Yes.
People feel you.
Yes.
You're not reading off a script. You're not trying to present a certain way. You're not trying to be perceived a certain way because you give less fucks and because you care about sharing and giving something to people.
Yes. Yes.
And I feel that in your work. And I think that's another important component. It's not about showing and proving. It's about giving and sharing. And that helps create more confidence and giving of less fucks because it's not about you anymore.
Yes.
It's about how you can serve. And I think that's the juice right there. That's the confidence cola.
We're giving less fucks with Keith and Pia this morning. Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends, the only morning show to help you men get your ass out of bed, hit those big audacious goals, and help you find a way to give less fucks about yourself. True story. We've just been talking with Pia about her meditation journey. We're going to pivot Jimmy to the creator spotlight in a quick second. But Jimmy, we know we want to make some content for Pia. So Jimmy, why don't we throw a question over to Pia, which is this. Pia, tell our audience a little bit about you. How can they find you? What kind of value can Pia Lister bring to the table? And why would somebody want to hang out and work with you, Pia?
Wow, those are fantastic questions, Keith. So I work as a creative partner with let me take it from the top. I creatively partner with unconventional dreamers, inspired misfits, and visionary rebels to help them bring their ventures and visions into the world to create an impact. Ventures and visions, that could look like brand strategy, brand storytelling, and creative coaching, all up in one. So that is sort of the core of what I do. I used to work in advertising as a award-winning creative director for many years, launched my business, Collective Studio.
I'm glad to break the award-winning part, by the way.
What?
I'm glad that you added the award-winning part.
Yes, it's important. It's also standing in our power. This is part of our experience. And, I'm much more than that. But it is part of my story. Yeah. You can tease me. I tease
through. You have brothers? I tease through love. If I stop teasing, there's something going on.
No. I think it's a Canadian thing. My French Canadian family are very much like that as well. If they're teasing you, then you're getting loved up.
If you're not, something's going on. Pia's like, Keith's not teasing me. He must not like me. True story.
No, it's actually important to add those award-winning bits, not because we're necessarily tooting our own horns, but it's to be able to stand in our power and share. This is also what we do. I think is important. Also, as a woman, I'm going to add that into the mix, like to say, yes, I've done this. This is part of my story. So, but I don't. My credibility hopefully goes beyond accolades, and it's about who I am and how I connect with people and what I help them build. Like what I feel is my magic sauce at this stage in the game, especially working with entrepreneurs, and also I also work with big brands, is being able to really listen and to hear what their vision for their brand or business is, and then be able to channel that creatively, whether it's into a story or it's into, sort of a visual world, like what is this, to help them then translate that. So so that power is the curiosity. And without curiosity, creativity does not thrive, does not live. You're choking your creativity if there's no curiosity in the room. So curiosity about who I work with, what they really want to achieve and what they really want to build and create and make real in the world. And how can I partner with them to make that happen? And most of the people I work with want to make an impact in some way.
Pia, what are the biggest challenges your clients are coming to you for these days? We live in a world of AI. The world's moving so fast in 2025. When clients are coming to you, what's the number one challenge they're looking to have solved with Pia?
Well, there are two, but I'll give you one. I don't know if it's necessarily a big challenge, but it's a juicy ambition. They want to pivot. So sometimes people start by, creating the MVP, something smaller, and then there's this urge to go into bigger territories.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this is what I could envision at first, but now I'm ready. I think the dream is much bigger. So how can I pivot and build this bigger business, this bigger brand, this bigger story? So I have helped them with that. Sounds more like an opportunity, but I guess it's a reframe.
Yeah.
There's usually, is it a challenge? Is it an opportunity? I don't know. And the second one with sort of bigger brand clients is complexity. There's a lot of gray zone in the world. So it's like, how can we take that complexity, harness it, and channel it to our benefit? How can we make sense of it? How can we curate chaos?
Yeah.
Together. And I think that takes being open to what might occur, not having to have too tight, rigid plans or rigid strategies. Like, strategies need to be living and breathing. Things are fluid. So can you operate in the uncertainty together?
Yeah.
And I think that is what my partnership brings, because it's all uncertainty anyway that we live in. So can we meet each other there and create something from that space? Because uncertainty is also the portal of limitless possibilities.
Ooh,
it's
baby.
scary. It's scary. It can feel like, oh shit, I don't know what's going on. I just want to have something solid and certain. But if you can drink that confidence cola, you can see what opens up in front of you, because nothing is fixed. So that's another big challenge, and another way that I come in to partner with people.
All right.
And I also recently launched a book, which was Jeff Felton kindly brought up in the last community corner. And it's called Welcome to the Creative Club. And it talks about actually a lot of the things we've been talking about today.
And we had some laugh with your and at your expense, because we joked about the fact that Jeff was like, I'll take the book, but I never really fucking read these things. But he's like, I picked it up and I read the whole thing. And he's like, and I loved it. You heard the clip. He's like, I loved it.
I did.
I didn't put it down. But we had some humor with it, because
I love that.
Everybody's an author. I joke. You saw my profile. I joke with the fact that I'm not a TEDx speaker and I'm not an author, because everybody else is, right? Everybody else is a best-selling author and everybody else is a TEDx speaker. I'm like, no, fuck it. I'm not going to be one of those. So we had some fun, but he's like, no, Keith, it was a good book. It was a great book. And I said, what was good about it? He says, because, and he's talked about on the clip, I love how she spoke in real speak. And it spoke to me, and it wasn't a bunch of hooey fluey fuff. So he really spoke about it. And it's called The Creative Club with Pia Lister, right?
Welcome to the Creative Club. Yes, it smashes the myth that creativity is reserved for the chosen few, and invites everyone to access their innate creativity and apply it to the design of their lives.
There you go. All right, you're hanging out with Keith and Pia. She's serving up some confidence cola this morning here on Morning Collab with Keith and friends. We are going to get Jimmy to the Community Corner Creator Spotlight. We're going to shift it up a little bit. Typically, we do this on the LinkedIn platform, but you threw us somebody here today who spends most of their time over on X and Substack, and I got to tell you, yes, because I've been looking for opportunities to continue expanding our segment onto the other platforms. So our goal is, because I don't know if you know this, but our show goes live every single day, Monday to Friday, 8 o'clock Eastern time on X, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Twitch. Awesome. And then what we do, Pia, is we chop it up and we're ubiquitous across all the other platforms throughout the day. Then we do it again. So we're a brand new media company where we are a live conversation happening 24 hours a day. We start the conversation in the morning. We set the narrative, we set the tone, and then we keep it going throughout the day. And then we do it again tomorrow.
That's awesome. Look at you.
Because nobody else does it. So we have somebody.
No one else does it like you, Keith, the handsome chief. What?
The handsome chief, baby. All right. Most people think success is about pushing harder. No, baby. Nope. It's about grinding. It's about optimizing. And it's about following someone else's roadmap. But what if, Pia, what if real success isn't about trying harder? It's about letting go. What if? What if it's about letting go? What if real success isn't about trying harder? Now, listen, we got a founder here. We got somebody who Pia is going to celebrate today. She's the coach founder's call when they're done forcing, they're done struggling, and they're ready to build businesses that feel as good as they look. The kind of businesses that thrive at the intersection of fulfillment, freedom, and profit. Yeah, this human we're going to celebrate today built, scaled, and walked away from a multi-6 six-figure business, not because she had to, but because she was ready for more. That's it, boys. Not because she had to, because she wanted to. She was ready for more. She was one of those like, yeah, I need more, I need more, I need more. So she went and got after it. So this morning, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends is ridiculously excited. Jimmy, Tommy, let's get it going here. We're going to pull up her LinkedIn, I believe there, Jimmy. But what we're going to do is Jimmy and Walter, most of her content is over on X and Substack. So we want to make sure that we're celebrating the LinkedIn Substack presence as well. But today, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends is really excited to celebrate Hayden Flohr. Yes. Hayden is a writer, a mentor, and a guide for high-performing founders who refuse to settle for life that looks good on paper but feels hollow inside. Now, Hayden helps ambitious entrepreneurs create businesses that align with who they actually are. She brings strategy, energy, and unapologetic honesty to the table, showing her clients how to trust their instincts, step into their true power, and create wealth without compromise. She's proof that the scariest leaps lead to the biggest rewards. Stepping into the unknown is real magic happens, that you just don't have to prove to anyone. You just have to decide. So listen, if you're tired of trying too fucking hard, Hayden Flohr, she's going to help you remember who you are and what you are here to build. Pia, why did you decide to celebrate Hayden this morning in our Creator Spotlight today?
You have introduced her so well. Hayden is not only a phenomenal business and energy coach, and mentor and writer, she's also just a wonderful human being who's curious about the world, who's always seeking to go first, to lead by example. So she runs into the burning building, takes the photo album and shows you the images of what that was like in a real, raw, and honest way through everything that she writes and shares. And then she also coaches people to help them expand into their next big level so that they can not only have a prosperous business, but feel really fulfilled creatively, personally, on many levels, and not feel like they have to compromise in order to have a lucrative business, that they can lean back, they can live, they can feel into it as they continue to grow. And she is the perfect partner to expand with. She's just wonderful. She's also a former athlete. She has the cutest doggies. She's a golfer. She's committed. She's just an all-around fascinating human. And I'm sure that you'll get a chance to get a taste of that when she comes on next time.
Awesome. Pia Lister is celebrating you, Hayden Flohr. We want to have you on the show for Mornings in the Lab and Keith and Friends. Here's how it works, Hayden. So Jeff Felton was on to celebrate Pia. We invited Pia on to celebrate you. So Hayden, we'd love to have you on because I know Pia knows there's somebody in your orbit who needs to be celebrated. This is the platform where we want to invite you to make that celebration. So Nation, I invite you to go find Pia on LinkedIn. Go find Hayden on LinkedIn. Go find Hayden on X, and go find Hayden over on Substack. 3 ways you can find Hayden and connect with her. But Hayden, we're celebrating you here today, and we'd love to have you on the show and bring you into the lab to create some great content with you and celebrate somebody in your orbit. Pia Lister, thank you for doing that with me today, and I appreciate the enthusiasm when we made that announcement today.
Thank you so much for doing it with me. These were my invisible pom-poms. I don't know if you
I like that.
I don't know if you could see them, but that was what I was channeling. It's been such a pleasure, honestly. And I hope to meet again and talk with the handsome chief another time. Maybe I'll be so lucky.
Yeah. Before we do this, before we leave, we're gonna do something. We're gonna have a little bit of fun here. So I got these glasses on that have cameras in them and have like I'm these glasses have cameras in them. So right now, hey Meta, take a picture. Oh, I guess I killed my battery on the show here. So I was going to take a picture of the experiment. So here's what I'm going to do. Because Jimmy, I got a new segment we're going to add to the show. The new segment is taking a picture of my glasses of the guests. So instead, we're just going to do this. There you go. But yeah, so I got these glasses. I streamed over onto Instagram this morning from the glasses. But
wow,
just a whole new point of view point of view into the show. So we stream live onto X, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, and I now offer a brand new experience to our audience, streaming from the Handsome Chief's point of view from the glasses into Instagram. So that's what you have here with Morning.
Love it.
Friends. Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
Before we say goodbye, what's on the agenda today for you today?
Actually, Hayden and I are creating our own podcast. So we're going to be recording in a couple of hours. She's like my business bestie. We have been helping each other grow through our businesses candidly, raw talk, real talk. And we've had these conversations for actually a couple of years. And we decided, why are we keeping this to ourselves? Why don't we make this public?
Yeah.
So we're co-creating the works, and it's in the works. And it's a podcast about everything, building, being an entrepreneur and growing and living creatively and everything in between. That's hence the works.
Can I invite you to consider something?
Yes.
Can I invite you to consider not do a podcast?
What are you inviting me to do? Cuddle with people?
Jimmy has been paying attention to the show. So I will invite you, because I like how you use the word many times in the show about reframing things.
Yeah.
So if you do a pod, you strike me as somebody who does things differently. You strike me as somebody that likes to swim upstream against the stream. You strike me as somebody that likes to make a difference. You strike me as somebody that walks into the room and is like, I'm not like everybody else. Am I correct?
Yeah.
I would say,
I mean,
I'm
yes.
so you strike
I think the closer we are to who we are, we're not going to be like anyone else, because there's no other Keith. There's no other handsome chief around. You know, that's it. There's one and only. So the more authentic, the closer you are to who you are, yes, you're going to be different.
Should have consider this.
Yes, I'm listening.
Everybody else does podcasts.
Okay.
You can own the narrative for your community by starting a live conversation every single day.
Ooh.
So
okay.
You can be like everybody else.
So do I get Jimmy?
but I want you to think about this for a second.
I will. No, I will. I'm taking it
let me finish. You could be like everybody else, or you, Hayden, can set the narrative for your community every single morning. Just observe what Mr. Trump is doing in the States every single day. Just observe what he did in 2016. What did he do in 2016? He started his morning with Fox and Friends. What happens in the morning? We start the conversation. We start the narrative. And then it goes throughout the day. And then it starts again tomorrow. So if you become a podcaster, you get lumped into everybody else and you become like everybody else. But you have the opportunity, you and Hayden, to set the narrative for the day, for your community, for your audience, to decide what they are talking about from you and Hayden for as little as 30 minutes, 60 minutes every single morning. You got to get up anyways. You got to edit it anyways. So you can be like everybody else and make a recording and let your podcast die, because it's going to fucking die. I'm going to be really frank. You guys are going to try, you're going to start, you're going to build, it's going to end. It's just going to happen because it's just like everybody else. It's not your core attribute, but you wake up every single morning and you meditate every single morning. There's no reason at all that you can't sit and have a live conversation every single day with your community and then get on with your day and set the narrative for your community and then do it again tomorrow. Those that do it first will win. The rest will follow. I'm a year and a half of everybody else that's considering doing this.
Yeah.
The future is not recorded, Pia. The future is live. Look to Netflix.
Ooh. Yeah.
Look to President Trump. Look to technology around us. The future is not recorded. Recording in Netflix is because of technological limitations from the past. We couldn't stream like we can stream today. So I would invite you to not do a podcast. Don't be like everybody else, because you're going to put a lot of effort into it and it's going to fail. I'm just being frank with you because you know it as well as I do. It's true. I'm just calling you out.
All right. Well, I'm going to get curious about the invitation.
Yeah, let's have a coffee. Let's talk more about it.
I would love to talk more about it. I'd love to meet again and talk more anyway.
Yeah. And I'm only offering it up because many don't consider the power of setting the narrative.
No, I hear you. I hear that. I hear you're also talking about the power of finding another way to engage and doing things differently. So, because one could set the narrative in a variety of different ways, but it's also the medium that you're suggesting. So it's a different way. It feels more direct. It feels more visceral. It feels more I don't want to say honest, but there's no retakes, there's no editing, there's no if you flub, you flub.
One last thing too, Pia, too. Between the hours of 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. in North America.
Yeah.
And then the hours of the morning in the Netherlands where you live, it's the last macro cultural time we share in the day. Because then after that, the rest of the time becomes on demand. 2 o'clock to you is different than 2 o'clock to me.
Yeah. True.
But I wake up at 6 a.m. and so does Marty at 6 a.m. At 6 a.m. we both turn on our phones, which means that we're both connected at the same time.
Yeah.
But at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Martin's in a meeting, I'm in a meeting. We don't reconnect. Humans don't reconnect anymore throughout the day because we all got our own time, our own clocks. But we all have to wake up in the morning together. So I've learned that I set the conversation throughout the day. I set it. Keith, not my audience. I do. Power in that.
There is power in that. That's some confidence cola you're drinking there, friend.
All right, so listen, Jimmy, we're gonna walk up Pia here. You want to walk? You want to walk the audience out with me right now and say goodbye together?
Definitely, let's do it.
All right, so listen, nation. Oh, where's my button? There it is. There. On behalf of me, the handsome chief, the confidence cola server, Keith Bilous, the conduit of conversation. You got Pia Lister. You got Johnny's gone, Marty's gone. You got producer Jimmy. You got producer Tommy. You got Rick in the comments, Lauren in the comments. You got everybody here. Thanks for joining me this morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith Friends. You know where to find us, 8 o'clock Eastern time, right here. What do? Pia, we set the tone for the day.
We reframe the narrative, baby, and drink confidence cola together. That's what we're talking about.
Pia, hang tight in the green room. We're going to say goodbye to everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern time, right here on LinkedIn, X, YouTube, all over the planet. Hayden, we want to get you into the lab. Jimmy, let's get out of here. Pia, hang tight. I want to talk to you for a quick second, okay?
Hanging tight.
All right, see you guys later. Ciao. Bye-bye.
Bye.